From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios,
This is Sactown Sports.
the Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
Jay, hey, my headset's
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
And that was pretty good.
I agree.
Unplanned, that was really good.
We decided no more Jackson 5.
Yeah.
It's just us doing
It's
it.
the J2.
It's better.
Yes.
Way better that way.
Hey, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well.
That is the lovely and talented Jay Mars. I missed you, Jay.
I missed you too, Jason. I haven't seen you literally in like 3 weeks.
It's been a while, huh?
Yeah. Did we pass?
The Rolling Stone?
Yeah.
No,
know?
I don't think so.
Oh gosh.
Because you are a fellow stoner.
Yeah. Sure am.
You, amongst others, have almost universally said, I would know. Correct?
Yes. You
So,
feel it.
No. Then I will go with no. But it feels like it has been a long time. Actually, today would be 4 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
Since the first trip to the that night I was in the ER. I was like, oh, then I was good. Then when it came back, like it was obviously moving, that there was a 3-day stretch that was not good. And I mean, right now I don't care. I'm pain free for 2.5 weeks or
That's
whatever.
so
I'm
good.
good. So I don't believe I have, but it feels like I how could I have not?
I don't know,
point?
man. Them stones are tricky.
Okay. Well, it's not. It must be at least in the bladder if it's not gone.
As long as it's in the bladder.
Yeah, then I'm home. Which I feel like I'm home free because it's been, knock on wood, 2.5 weeks. Like
Right.
if it's stuck, it's not painful right now. But the worst pain I had felt like in my mind is how I'm trying to believe was like the worst pain of the whole time was like one last one. I'm like, oh my God. Like it was, I was clenching the couch and, heavy breathing or whatever. And then I go, well, maybe that means it's moving. And I haven't had any pain since then. Thankfully.
My hope for you is I was like so small, like you just didn't feel it somehow, some way.
That's my hope too. I mean, there was the time where I was, for lack of a better term, sifting, or collecting. And I'm like, okay, either I'm at a Kings game or like I can't keep. And then I just
You didn't bring your strainer to the Kings game?
Or here, like I'm like, I'm done. Like
ask the G-Man to come with you, see if he hears something. G-Man,
please.
My hearing's not great. Oh my God. That would have been amazing had it gone out and G-Man was there to give it an actual play-by-play call. Yeah, he's got the stone.
Yes, he would have crushed it. Well, Happy New Year to everyone. Carmichael Dave is off today. He is back with us tomorrow. We hope everybody had a wonderful, wonderful New Year, a safe, and I know it has been awful out there. We've had flooding. We've had power outages. I was a little surprised that we have power here now.
We didn't have it yesterday.
We did not have it yesterday. We did not have it the day before for the Kings game. That was a little bit odd in here.
I think we got power back last night around 11 something because that's when the engineering email went out.
It must have been after that because was there a follow-up this morning?
No, it was late last night.
Yeah, because I knew the one that was telling us basically be prepared. The people, besides programming, other people don't come in because it's just going to be we're out without power. So
yeah, which I still think will happen just because. By the way, we don't know how long this will last.
Yeah,
I think today we're good, but tomorrow's supposed to be storming again, so I could knock it out. Also, I guess we should have. Dave's not here.
Yeah.
We've got almost 4 minutes.
Yeah, I mentioned it really fast.
You did?
Yeah, just a few minutes ago.
I guess I was still like taking in. I was singing together.
Yeah, because it was so good.
According to Paul, did Dave get stung by a bee?
I think I did see something on that on social media. Him and his wife playing golf. I think both did.
Okay, because Paul's like he got stung by bees. He can't come in. I'm like, wait, Dave got stung by bees.
Yeah. Well, maybe that.
And I know Paul like follows Dave around when he's on vacation and stuff, like in the bushes.
Probably with him.
I believe him. Yeah. No. Paul is. This is all happening from wherever Dave is, where Paul is chatting.
Exactly. We got a big show today to kick off the new year, but let's start you out with leading off.
Let's do it. Leading off, the 3 top stories in the morning.
huge news. This is very important.
Here's cut number 1.
Kings 5-on-4 at the moment. Harrison to Fox. Touch pass inside. Keegan Murray. And he scores on the reverse. And a technical foul has been assessed. Taylor Jenkins. Taylor was really unhappy about the sequence at the other end of the floor when Adams went to the floor and there was no whistle and he just got teed up.
Steven Adams. Another rebound for Steven Adams, by the way, in that clip somewhere, somehow.
Yeah, a couple, right?
Oh, my goodness. The one guy that kind of makes Domantas Sabonis look like a mere mortal.
There's only a few in the league that can do that.
And it's not the Embiid or the Joker, like the really skill. He's just so massive.
He's a brute.
And Sabonis still got his double-digit rebounds, but Adams was a difference maker. The Kings at Utah tonight to close out a mini 2-game roadie. And, you know, I try not to look too far ahead in games, but I did think, Jay, like, hey, a 1-1 trip would be just fine. So you lost the first one. If you could beat Utah, it's just another team you're kind of still jostling with. I'd be just fine with it, especially with another nice and advantageous, I will say, 5-game homestand coming up.
Yes, and this one, I thought the previous 6-gamer was an opportunity for them to kind of break out, and they sort of did.
Yeah,
a little bit, but they went 500.
That's
you would have
fine.
Liked them at minimum to go 4-2. Sure. I think 500 is clearly like, okay, this isn't a bad thing, but
right.
I thought they should have been at least 4-2 in that homestand, but that's behind us. Utah's going to be tough tonight, as we saw earlier in that homestand.
Yeah.
I don't want to call it best game of the year, but it was up there.
It was up there, and I'm loving Golden One Center right now. The atmosphere, every game is getting better. There's been 2 amazing games in a row. 3, really. They did lose the one to Denver first, then they beat Denver, then the Utah game. It's palpable. It's different. It's electric. The fans love it. The beam, the chain, all these things are part of it, and the team is entertaining at home. It's just...
they're entertaining on the road,
that's
too.
True.
They're an entertaining basketball team.
They are. I enjoy watching them play, and they'll have a clunker here and there, but it's also, okay, it doesn't, every time they have a clunker, it's like, oh, no, it doesn't start any snowball of this downward trend. I think the chance for that, legitimate chance, was when Sabonis got hurt. I was very fearful of, oh, no, if he's 4, 6, 8 weeks, they're in trouble. And he missed 1 game, came back, and he's been amazing since. So we've got a lot of Kings discussion today. Kings at Utah to close out this 2-game roadie. We've got more on that, but let's get to cut 2.
Cut number 2.
It's been overwhelming. There's a pall over the stadium right now. Like you said, Scott, you come to work. We're expecting to see the game of the season. And what we got was so terrible. But that doesn't really matter. All that really matters is Damar Hamlin and his family, and we just can't say it enough that we hope that he's okay.
Frightening, scary. I was scared watching that game last night.
Scariest thing I've ever watched in football.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not particularly close.
Yeah, we don't have connections for the most part to most of these players, and I don't know Damar Hamlin. I'm certainly rooting for the best outcome possible here. Jay, we're at the mercy last night of other people when we're watching this. So obviously it goes without saying, we know how dangerous the sport is. And I'll admit it for myself, become desensitized. Oh, player's down. That's too bad. He'll be fine. Or he's out today. Or you know what? As said, his season's over. Maybe his career's over. Like, we just take it so cavalierly. But to see other grown men, like the immediacy of the concern, it's like, wait, this looks different. Wait, this is very different.
Mm-hmm.
What is happening? And then the first time Joe Buck said CPR was administered,
that was it.
I don't even think I spoke for a little bit. I'm like, did he what?
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched out of I think I was in shock for about 10 minutes watching it.
I didn't see it live. And I didn't see any of the coverage live until after the game was postponed. I was out and about, but I saw the play. And it was just like stunned, and I'm not going to describe it because it was so horrific. If you really do want to see it, you can go search it out. But it was really horrific since they did not replay that last night on Sports Center or anything. And I watched Sports Center, which was the Van Pelt and Ryan Clark loop for it seemed like 45 minutes. Just never seen anything like it. Scared to death. Then you hear the CPR, and I saw that on social media. I was like, whoa. And there was a lot of people last night I felt that handled that responsibly.
And others that did not.
And then there were others that did not. And to them, shame on you.
Yeah.
And specifically, we can point out individuals. I want to talk about the NFL collectively,
Mhm.
that when it came out that the NFL did not postpone that game, it was a players, coaches, and other team personnel that said no, and rightfully so. But the NFL not stepping in and just being like, oh my God, we just had one of our players collapse to the point of needing to be resuscitated, CPR to your point, and his teammates and Bengals players watching one of their brothers down there not being able to breathe. Like, you think any of those guys are in a place mentally to go play football?
Right.
Like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah.
It's just that part to me, I was thinking about how we're going to talk about this today, and we'll talk about it more, obviously. But obviously, thoughts and prayers they don't even justify the thought process there. It's just, Hamlin's on everyone's mind, and as well he should be. Screw the game. And for them not to step in there, they grossed me out. It really bothered me that it wasn't the NFL to step in and just say, no, there's no way we can put our players out there in that mental capacity.
Yeah. And you could just tell they were done. They were done. They couldn't. You have to ramp up so much to get mentally, physically ready for a game. And they were shaken and to their core, to the point where it's like, it's not as simple as, oh man, that guy tore his ACL. Bummer. Hey, Debo, high ankle sprain, and he's crying. Looks like he's going to be out for some time. This stinks. No. Next man up. This was different than next man up.
No, there is no next man up here in this scenario. No, this is a life or death situation. And, I was thinking the worst. I can't lie to you. When you see how he went down, and then
the tears,
CPR, the tears, I'm sure there were guys on the field that were just like, oh my God, did we just watch our brother maybe
pass right here? I was anticipating we were going to hear a report like that. And we're not out of the woods here, by the way. It sounds he's in a breathing tube, he's intubated, and it's still in critical condition. But there hasn't been any real further report than that at this hour.
And again, nobody needs to speculate.
No.
And we're not going to speculate, because that not only does it not do anything, I just think it's incredibly a bad thing to do in a situation like that.
This is one you wait. You wait for
100%.
the proper information. And once we get that, we certainly will pass it along. All right, we've got more to get to. There's no real great way to transition out of that. Later, we will talk about some of the other amazing things that actually did happen in sports. But this one it became from a sports story to a news story to just humanity. And we will get into that a little bit later. There is no easy way to transition here. But there were some other events that happened while we were gone, including some pretty good football games, specifically in college football's Final Four. We'll have some of that and much more as we just getting started for the first show of the new year right here on Sactown Sports.
The only place you'll find De'Aaron Fox is Sactown Sports.
Spins away from the defender, in the paint, soft floater. That's a great play by De'Aaron Fox.
Hey, Sacramento, it's De'Aaron Fox, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications, like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
On Sactown Sports.
Happy to report that we do have YouTube as well this morning, and thank you to those that are checking us out, making that a part of your routine. We did get a staff email yesterday for those that, I'm not sure you care about this, but I know a lot of people have been impacted with lack of power or other situations, trees down, fences, whatever it might be, and more rain is coming. And this is, I guess, Jay, where this takes me back to is probably if you're a fan of something or you're not, you kind of go to the extreme. And I'm going to go to both you and Dave who don't like the summer heat. And I go, okay, well,
are you going to point in our faces now and say, ha ha?
No, but I think what you guys point to a lot, and in fairness, I'm going to rip myself for this. Nobody, I mean, who enjoys 117? That's absurd. Right. Now, I would rather be warm than this. Yes, I realize we need rain. That I am supportive of.
Oh, we got plenty of that.
But the rain, the wind, and then I go to situations like the last couple of days that extreme rain, flooding, wind, power outages. I hate all this stuff. And there's people that are working hard. And, there's serious life implications here. I know unfortunately, there was someone that passed on, was that on 99? And I got caught. I mean, this is just awful scenarios. So, our family was, for whatever, this is worth it, was out without power for a day and a half. That is uncomfortable. That's not ideal. We were fine. We weren't the only ones. And I think there's some that are still without. We were here Sunday for the Kings Jazz game, or Kings Grizzlies game, excuse me. And fortunately, we have a generator in this building, but I think all it was working, Jay, was each studio upstairs. We're in an upstairs with we have one little sliver of a window in this room. And it was as dark as could possibly be. So basically, the board lights were on, none of these interior lights, the two TVs, which was very fortunate. I brought up a lamp from down at the front desk, brought the microwave in here to cook some food. I was trying to be resourceful, but the rest of the place, pitch black.
I had to come in yesterday because with the outages and stuff, that kind of affected our virtual network, which for anyone who wants to know what that is, that's basically I can do some of the in-studio stuff from home via my laptop. I couldn't do it yesterday, so I had to come in here and fix a few things. I walk in the building, it's jet black.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa. And I walk up the stairs. And you experienced this too, you could not see anything. I had to bust out the flashlight on my phone. And even with that, it was still hard to see. I was like, what in the world? It was like walking into the Twilight Zone.
It was funny. I got a heads up because game night was before us. Scott Marsh was here first. And he said, hey, just so you know that there's like a stairwell that most of us come in off our parking lot. He's like, hey, be careful. It's really dark. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm not going to fall on the stairs. He was not that. I don't even know how to describe how dark that was. Like we've all been outside when it's pitch black. It's in the mountains without a moon.
Yes.
And I like you literally, like your eyes couldn't even adjust. I'm like, I know there are stairs here. I cannot see them. Just bizarre. But we hope everybody is safe and okay. And, those of you that didn't lose power, awesome. Good for you. It does get perspective on other things, much like the Damar Hamlin thing. I was thoroughly entertained on New Year's Eve watching the Ohio State Georgia game. Just awesome. And then boom, power out. I'm like, man. Okay. But always when power goes out, is this a flicker? Is this nope, we better get some candles. Where are the flashlights? And then it's like, it'll be 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And then it was like, oh no, and we heard like a pop outside. I'm like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
And we were done. And then I'm like, oh, Sunday football. We didn't watch the ball drop. Okay. NFL, everything was out we were out for a day and a half.
I was very lucky. Our power was out for an hour. That was it. 1 hour.
So you got it up by midnight for sure. Because
we were back. We were back by 9 p.m.
Okay, that's good.
It went out around 8. We were back by 9, and we never went out again, which was awesome because I got to watch football on Sunday and all that stuff. But this weather's nuts. It's supposed to storm again tomorrow with heavy winds. So, take whatever precautions you need to take.
Yeah.
It definitely. We had candles and stuff, but we need more. Like, it was. I'm glad it only happened for an hour because I'm not gonna lie, we weren't the most prepared for it.
Yeah,
we will be tomorrow, but
I also don't know the rules. Like, okay, being without power is fine. Candles kind of fun. We lit a fire. Like there's some cool elements to it, and you know what? For the time being, phones were still charged. They'll lose it. Like, okay, how much do I want to? Hey, I can still watch some things. Like, okay, do I really need to? That's where you start to prioritize. I'm like, I at least want some power to my phone. But then what I start to get when it's, we were at about that point, it was a day and a half. Like, if we have another, like, when do we worry about the food in the fridge? I'm like, we were good and it's fine. So we were good, but I don't know what the right time is. And obviously it stays cool. We try to limit opening the fridge, but like we made a bunch of stuff for New Year's Eve and the party and celebration. And it's like, man, how long do you know what the rough?
I don't know what the rule is. My own personal rule is it just depends on what's in there because all of it is temp based, especially when you have time controlled sensitive food or temperature controlled food, like milk, for instance. You probably want to get that on ice pretty quickly. Again, it's one of those things. Make sure you have ice available. Make sure you have ice chest.
Right.
Because again,
we are going to start to transfer to that.
Well, you have to. Yeah. I mean, some of that food is that sensitive where if you leave it out too long, you will get sick, my friend, and not in a fun way.
Yeah.
Not that there is a fun way, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. And then there's the other thing that we're so for our life are programmed. I'm not kidding, Jay. I did this. To say 50 times, probably too high, but 30, where I was carrying a flashlight, walk into a room. I mean, the lights are out, but I automatically it's like a habit, like, oh, let me go into the bathroom and flip. Oh, the light's out. And then go into another room. It's just not programmed that the lights are out. Stop hitting the switches, but I just keep thinking like, well, just turn the lights on. Because anytime you enter a room and it's dark, you turn the lights on.
So I would tell everyone, get candles, have your flashlights ready, ice chest, all that stuff. Have it on hand.
And if you don't need it, no big deal.
Great. Yes. But also, if you need it, great.
Yes.
Because again, tomorrow's supposed to be pretty nasty. I think today it looks like it's going to be.
We have a little bit of a break today, right?
A little bit of a break. I have KCRA on right now, and they've already said, in our own weather reports running on the station that, it'll probably rain a little bit today, but nothing drastic. But tomorrow, ooh,
be ready.
Fun times.
So what I personally missed at the end of that day was that great finish between Ohio State and Georgia. And the first game, which I actually thought, I don't see how TCU could beat Michigan. I just didn't think they could. Turned out to be a great game. Michigan had some self-destruction in that. I had predicted a Michigan-Ohio State final, and we have Georgia and TCU. Georgia's been the college football's number one team. They've looked the part. They could go back-to-back titles. I do think they'll beat TCU. But I think we got some great games there. We had a really good TCU-USC game yesterday. There were some good bowl games. And it just makes me think when we get to 12 teams, this has potential to be very, very exciting. And so I think it'll continue to diminish the rest of the bowls.
Oh, it diminishes all of them.
I mean, I was saying this on last week with Chris. I said, look, I am a college football fan. I have spent 0 minutes on bowl season. And
I mean, for me, bowls really, kind of jumped the shark when when there's
50 of them.
Yeah, there's 50 of them. It's something to get money out of.
Yeah, here's 6-6 Wake Forest versus 6-7 Oregon State. I'm like,
in the MyPillow.com bowl.
Why? And there's 11 people there. So, I mean, I'm not faulting the schools. If I'm invited to a bowl, I'm going. But
sure, again, it's all a money play.
Absolutely. But who's making the money in this?
College football is.
I guess.
And I'm sure the programs all get a little bit, when there's a winner's take and a loser's take. I know that. But yeah, like you said, if you're playing in the insert randomcompany.com bowl, are you really like, yo, when I was a college man?
Yeah, this is turning it around here for us at Wisconsin.
Did you see just like I said, the Viagra Bowl?
Yeah.
Did you? Former Viagra Bowl winner.
Right. West Virginia football will never be the same.
Ever.
My goodness. All right. So it was supposed to be one of the games of the year last night. I mean, if we're talking football, the Bengals and the Bills, that was high-level football. I was looking forward to it. Then it turned into, as we said earlier, a news story. Then it turned into real life very quickly. We were hit by perspective in Cincinnati. We have that next.
The only place you'll find Kevin Herter is Sactown Sports.
Herter's open, steps into three. He's got the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Kevin Herter, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Carmichael Dave here, letting you know when the housing market shifts quickly like it has the last few months, having the right mortgage company on your side is crucial in this ever-changing market. We've got just that lender. It's my guy Shelby at United Wholesale Lending. Now you can check them out at refinancewithshelby.com. They're fast, they're local, and competitive. Shelby's team, as I've told you for years, is well known in the real estate market from real estate agents, title companies, appraisal companies. United Wholesale Lending will even get your offer fully underwritten and approved upfront so you can compete with the cash offers. With the increase in inventory, the market has shifted from a seller's market to a buyer's market. Buyers now have the opportunity to shop for the home that's right for them instead of settling for what was available. You can always refi as soon as rates come down, or United Wholesale Lending has alternative loan options like a 2-1 buy down. RefinanceWithShelby.com. That's RefinanceWithShelby.com. NMLS number 279051. BRA number 01864354.
Hi, guys. It's Mark with Coastside Medical Clinic. Are you struggling with ED and sick of the pills? Well, we have a major medical advancement that has helped thousands of men. Our WAVE technology is backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge University. It's been shown to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call us now. And not only will the assessment and blood flow ultrasound be free, but we'll also include something unique that produces powerful results. You're going to love that one, guys. Trust me. This unprecedented offer is worth $600, but it's free to those who call in the next 2 minutes. Call 916-603-2000. That's 916-603-2000. Guys, put a stop to your ED and get your life back. Call Coastside Medical Clinic now to qualify. 916-603-2000. That's 916-603-2000.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
The new year is a great time for reflection, to appreciate all the good things in your life and to prepare your resolutions, or bucket list as I like to call it. 2023 would be the perfect time to introduce someone new to the game of golf. Let them in on the fun. Or if you've never played, it's a wonderful time to start. Maybe go to a driving range, maybe take an introductory lesson. Or if you're an established golfer, maybe you want to get fitted for a new set of golf clubs. Maybe you want to take some refresher lessons to sharpen up your game. Consider a golf getaway, either with your significant other or a group of buddies. It's a great way to play new courses, eat some tasty new foods, and certainly laugh a lot with your friends. If you normally use a golf cart, consider walking with a push cart, or maybe even lightening your bag and carrying your clubs. Go back and play where you played your first round of golf or your all-time favorite round. Remember why you play the game and how much it means to you. Leave the course in better condition than you found it. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions, not available in all areas. If you're a small business owner, listen up. Pi Insurance wants to give you one of those aha moments, the kind that could save you money. Workers' comp is probably one of the biggest costs you face. But did you know that insurance providers have flexibility in setting their prices? That's right, but many don't bother giving small businesses the savings you deserve. Instead, you can get lumped in with other businesses and overcharged. Pi Insurance was created to change that. With Pi, you get a quote tailored specifically to your business, and you could save up to 30% with no hassle and no hidden fees. And with helpful representatives just a call away, it's easy to understand why Pi is rated excellent by customers on Trustpilot. Take 3 minutes to see how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or go to trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This time check is brought to you by West Coast Men's Health Acoustic Wave Therapy.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
With your Sactown Sports headlines, I'm Jay Mars. Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin had his heartbeat restored on the field after suffering cardiac arrest during the team's game Monday night against the Bengals, and he is currently in critical condition at a Cincinnati hospital, the Bills said in a statement early this morning. The scary scene midway through the opening quarter led the league to postpone the game about 90 minutes after kickoff. In a conference call shortly after midnight, the NFL did not provide an update on potentially rescheduling the game as the league enters the final week of its regular season. The Kings head to Salt Lake City to take on the Jazz tonight. These two teams met on Friday at the Golden One Center, with the Kings prevailing 126-125. Shooting guards Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter are both questionable with injuries. Coverage begins at 4:30 with Game Night on Sactown Sports. Mitchell set Donovan Mitchell, set a Cleveland record with 71 points, most by an NBA player in 17 years, and the Cavaliers rallied from 21 down to beat the Chicago Bulls 145-134 in overtime Monday night. It was the most points in the game by any player since LA Lakers legend Kobe Bryant had 81 against Toronto on January 22nd, 2006. Wilt Chamberlain owns the NBA record with 100 for Philadelphia against New York on March 2nd, 1962 in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Coming up on today's show, the Athletics' Matt Barrows joins us at 8, and former NFL quarterback Sean Salisbury joins us at 8:13 from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are your headlines. Back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sactown Sports.
All right, show rolling right along. Jason Ross, Jay Mars here. Carmichael Dave should be back with us tomorrow. Happy New Year to everyone out there. Again, tremendous reminder from us to stay safe. Had some tough weather conditions over the last couple of days. Again, much needed rain, but that has produced to some flooding, some high winds over the last couple of days, some down power lines, trees. Be safe as possible. Be smart out there. And we got some more weather coming. So we're not done with this, but just be careful. Driving, all those things. Last night, in what was called by many, and we over amplify some of these things. We got to build into the hype, but maybe the game of the season, the Bills and Bengals. I don't know if it would have been. I was excited for it, sitting down to watch a little Monday Night Football.
It started off great.
It did. Bengals went right down the field and scored. Wanted the ball, won the toss, and we're going to take the ball and score. Basically, they did. Bills countered with a field goal, and I do remember the play. Watching it live, I was getting up from the couch. The play we're talking about is, of course, the frightening situation we had with Damar Hamlin. And I was leaving to go get back into the kitchen, and I remember, I can't even remember which receiver it was. I think it was T. Higgins, but who caught it from the Bengals.
It was T. Higgins.
And, it was a standard catch over the middle, and it was more of a violent finish to the run. Like he was, a lot of times you see the hit from the defensive player, and he kind of just, he went in, and I go, ooh, that was an aggressive kind of in my, I don't even know if I said it. I was like, wow, that's an aggressive finish to the play. And then went into the kitchen, didn't see the rest of it. And then came back in. You could tell there was a player down. I'm like, oh, I wonder what happened. And then I rewound the play. Go, oh, was that play? Oh, wow. And then the fact that he got up and then went back down. And then, oh, man, maybe it was I had no idea. We've seen NFL injuries, football injuries all the time. And then the momentum, the shift of, wait a minute, this is something very, very serious. And now we've all, heard about it. Again, the game was stopped or paused for a while. There was a lot of trying to figure out what's going on. Then the images we're seeing, and that now becomes such a difficult part. I'm as much into, besides the first and utmost of importance, is hoping for the best here for Damar Hamlin. The handling of the situation, Jay, not even being in a critical way. I know there's some people that have been critical of the way the NFL handled. I don't know that they were ever going to play again, but whatever. The fact is they didn't. They got to where they were. The sides cleared. But just even, I rewound it enough to see there was an immediate reaction I noticed from, because now after seeing it, I go, I'm going to go back to the play again, because they went commercial after commercial after commercial. And there was one of the athletic trainers that you could tell there was an immediate sense of urgency.
Oh, yeah.
And in my mind, I went, wow, what does he see that's different than, I'm sure they've seen people knocked out. And then and also now we have the information that's something pretty serious. So I'm kind of watching it back in hindsight. But people did react quickly, which is wonderful. And then I'm thinking, Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, Lisa Salters, people post-game, Scott Van Pelt and Ryan Clark were incredible. It was real-life stuff, not knowing what to say, but giving us enough to yeah, I'm with you. I feel it. Because we're all watching in stunned silence in a way where I always feel like I want to do something, and we're helpless. There's nothing we can do. Sure, prayer. That's something, but why did what's happened? I don't know. What's the fix? And when you're helpless and you're scared, it's an uncomfortable feeling.
Yeah. And you could definitely see that real life situation unfolding, especially when Lisa Salters was a great example of that. You could tell she was shook, and rightfully so.
Absolutely.
And then, to watch Troy Aikman, when he was going back and forth with Van Pelt, him and Joe Buck, I mean, Joe Book didn't play the game, but has obviously called football for
thousands of games.
And Aikman, a former quarterback who's played that game, who's suffered some pretty drastic injuries. You could tell they were both visibly just like, I don't know what we just saw. We just know it's bad. They were both shook as well. And, Van Pelt, credit to Scott Van Pelt, man, trying to get through that with all these different personalities and reports happening in front of him. And, and then you have his Ryan Clark got in there with him and was just, Ryan Clark was very emotional last night. And I thought he did a tremendous job of, in the moment, really conveying human emotion and being able as a former player to say, like, there is no way at all that you watch one of your brothers, as he put it, because the NFL really is a brotherhood. It's not just teammates. It's the league collectively when you're a player. There's no way you watch your brother go down like that and see everything that is happening in real time. You get out there and play a football game. And any idea that there should have been a completion of it, that there could have been a completion of it, is just ludicrous.
Yeah.
And, it was a scary scene. Still kind of been replaying it in my head a lot this morning. If you have not seen it, I know a lot of news outlets are choosing not to show it, which to me is the correct move. But it's out there on social media, as everything is.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, where we've seen harder hits. We've seen like stuff like, and then
there was nothing in real time that made that look like it was anything other than a football play.
Right. There was something, and I'm going to apologize, and maybe I won't even speculate on this. I was watching as much as I possibly could, and there was some doctor that was speculating on what he thought the timing of the hit and like our heart rate, and I don't even know if that made some sense to me with no medical background. I'm not even wanting to say that, but because again, I'm looking for I've seen a hard hit. I've seen someone get hit in the chest and the sternum, and you're just trying to understand all of it.
And people with medical backgrounds on social media trying to speculate and break it down. It's like, I know I don't think it's done with any sort of ill intent.
Not that, right. But that may not be right. It may be right. I don't know. I don't
either. And here's how I kind of treat those situations. Again, respect to anybody that has a medical background. If you're not there on the scene or you're not in the hospital, your speculation does nothing.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't know what you're trying to accomplish there.
Right.
Because you're not there. Again, you have the same perspective of it as we do. Granted, again, you're a medical professional, so you're clearly going to know more than we do, we being the average fan.
Right.
But I just find in those times, no matter what your background is, speculating does nothing.
Yeah.
Whether that's provide potentially false hope or make something out to be worse than it might be. Again, we just don't know.
Yeah.
And if you're not on the field and you're not currently with in the situation in the hospital, it's like speculating does nothing. It does no good.
And much like a great moment in sports on television where an announcer will let it breathe, that's like the best thing we could possibly see is that image. Not in the same way as best, but there's nothing more powerful than what we were watching in a human way. And the reality of what Joe Buck and Troy, like, we have nothing else to like. There's literally one break. They came back. Joe Buck reset what happened. Maybe the time he went down, time in the game, we're on a pause. And in a heavy, there's just nothing more to say. We'll be back. And I'm like, wow.
Jason, you've been watching the NFL for a long time.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen anything like that in your lifetime?
No.
Neither have I.
I was trying to think of, we had a gnarly injury on a Sac State game. It's almost 20 years ago, and I'm in a booth. We're far away. Less, coverage like this where when you could see the family of the player come out, you're like, oh man, but it wasn't life or death. You're like, this is a major injury, leg injury to a player.
And we've seen those.
Yeah. And those are scary, and police and carts. And you're like, okay, this isn't good, but you're not thinking about someone's life. You're like, okay, I hope they can walk. I hope they can play football again. I hope they can have the life that they want. And maybe this is all still something that can happen with Damar Hamlin, but we also don't know that at this hour.
We know nothing. And like we said, speculating on what the future looks like, specifically for Damar, don't.
Yeah.
Just don't.
When every player from the Bills and Bengals knew that, you all know that when you sign up but it's like, hey, anytime we get in a car, something could happen. We don't think about it. That's removed. Oh, someone ran that light. That was scary. That could have been bad. Then you move on and you drive the next 100 miles and never think about it again. Every football player does the same thing and think, I'm going to go score 4 touchdowns. I'm going to be great. I don't want to get hurt, but I'm not playing to get hurt. And then something like this happened, and it rocked everybody's world. When we get any more information, we certainly will pass that along. All right, there is going to be football again. There will be, and Week 18 is coming up. We'll kind of look into some of the things there on the playoff scenarios now that we're getting to that point. Again, no easy way to transition here, but we'll do that when we come back.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sactown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for 3, and Keegan backs down the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Today I'm at Elk Grove Dodge, where it looks like Vince Bloom, the big guy,
also known as Father Christmas.
Well, yeah, Vince, you are dressed like Santa, which means you must be giving out some sweet deals for the holidays.
There's nothing sweeter than saving money on trucks.
So I can expect some big savings on, say, new 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorns?
You read Santa's mind. Right now, during the Big Finish event at Elk Grove Dodge, save $12,000 off MSRP on new 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4s.
Vince, $12,000 off new 2022 Bighorn Crew Cabs?
That's right.
$12,000 is a lot of money, and you've got enough for all of Santa's helpers because, you know, we've been very good this year.
I sure do. I've got 15 of these new Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4s, and they're all $12,000 off MSRP, starting at $42,520.
Now through January 3rd, save $12,000 on 15 new 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4s.
Only at Elk Grove Dodge and the Elk Grove Auto Mall and online at elkgrovedodge.com.
Include $6,000 in 2022 Big Finish and California retail bonus and bonus cash. Sample VIN 455-158 expires 1/3/23.
The new year is upon us with promises of new beginnings and new adventures, but don't let 2022 slip away without savoring the memories of all you enjoyed with family and friends. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Of course, looking forward with anticipation is exciting, but I have a lot to appreciate in this past year, and much of that revolves around time with family and more good times spent around my Naturewood dining table. Watching my grandson get messy with his birthday cake is priceless, and it reminds me that new life is the perfect balance between yesterday and today. Greet the new year with a visit to Naturewood Home Furnishings. See all the fine furniture and accessories on sale with Naturewood's New Year sale. Find that perfect piece of furniture that's new today and filled with memories for tomorrow. The memories you make with your family will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
American Energy wants to make sure you and your family are safe this winter with a $49 furnace tune-up. Plus, if you're ready for a new one, get half off with American Energy's 50% off furnace special. With 0% financing and payment plan options available, there's no reason to keep putting off making your home safe, warm, and comfy for you and your family this holiday. Call American Energy today at 916-520-9990 or visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable. 50% off furnace when you purchase a whole home HVAC system. Limited time only. Cannot be combined with other offers or specials.
At Folsom Lake Honda, in addition to great prices on new Hondas, we stock the best selection of quality pre-owned vehicles, and each one of those vehicles is priced to sell now.
With new cars in high demand, Folsom Lake Honda has a great selection of quality one-owner trades with low miles, and each is priced to sell now. Every used vehicle on the lot comes with a Carfax vehicle history report and has passed a safety inspection. Shop our entire selection at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Are you ready? Stock up and save big now on appliances and more at the Truckload event at Lowe's. For a limited time only, get up to an additional $600 off select major appliances and instant savings from top brands like Whirlpool and Frigidaire. Plus, get store-wide savings on even more items that you need. Head to your local Lowe's store or visit Lowe's.com to shop the Truckload event today. Exclusions apply while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for details. Valid 12/29 through 1/4.
ATM Mortgage.
Hi, this is Jeff Tarbell with a very unique program for homeowners over 55 years old. How would you like to cut your house payment in half and maybe get some cash out too? Give ATM Mortgage a call. 916-338-9400, 338-9400, or online at atmmortgage.net.
ATM Mortgage.
License under California CFL and MLS 223-4889.
The only place in the morning to get your sports fix.
Live and local.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
So I know Carmichael Dave today. He is back with us tomorrow. Happy New Year to everyone on this January 3rd of 2023. Man. Jason Ross, J. Mars here. Obviously, when we hear any more information on Damar Hamlin, we will pass it along. There has also not been any word officially about the conclusion of that game. The game had just started. There was no, the Bengals were ahead for whatever that matters.
And majority of Bills players, I believe, have already flown back to Buffalo. So there's no way to play it tonight.
No, I think that was the initial thought. And I thought, boy, that's going to be tough to do. But it makes sense because you're in Cincinnati. But also then they were like they'd already checked out of hotel rooms. There's just some logistics here. Both teams are in the playoffs. I don't know. The league has to sort that out. They will. Football will go on. It's just, it's so fresh and so raw and so new.
I don't think this game gets replayed. I think.
So what do you do?
I give them tie, probably, maybe.
Okay.
To me, that's the only logical scenario. You have to both, or you just don't count the game and you go win percentage at that point.
Which, again,
and you need consent from other teams, obviously.
Take this into consideration when we're doing this. We know what's more important here, but again, there will be playoffs. There will be the football will go on, and I'm not trying to be in any
2 and the 3 seed were playing though last night,
in any callous way. And you also were playing for a 1 seed potentially with Kansas City and Buffalo and Cincinnati even still in the picture. There's some I don't even not bigger picture, some other picture stuff that was going on here, and. The NFL has to sort that out. They do have a final week left, and in this final week, we have some drama. If you especially go to the NFC, Jay, where still at this point, somehow, some way, the Niners can be the 1 seed, the Cowboys can be the 1 seed, and the Eagles are still the favorite to be a 1. They've got it if they win, but if they don't, they open the door for the 49ers, and they open the door for the Cowboys. And being a 1 seed is big for the postseason because you're the 1 team now in the new format that gets the bye. And 2 would play 7, 3 plays 6, and 4 plays 5, just to have 1 less game, because the way football works, 1 seed doesn't guarantee you anything. It just keeps you away from 1 game. And in a 1-game situation, anybody can beat anybody.
Yeah, and especially in football, that 1 seed, when you're a team like San Francisco, is crucial.
Yeah.
Given the amount of injuries that you've had this year and getting guys healthy.
And everything would go through Santa Clara, which they're better there too, like most teams.
Yeah, and Deebo Samuel hopefully will play in Week 18. Even if he does, we don't know how limited he's going to be, but you'd like him to get an extra week off.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I'd like them to play better than they did against the Raiders. They won, but they got to play better.
They do have to play better, and it's not like they have a. It's going to be a very interesting Week 18. In the NFL. Like you said, the Eagles with Jalen Hurts' injury, I think has obviously affected them. I still think the Vikings are the most pedestrian team there. I get their record, but I think that team is super beatable.
Yeah.
And then you look over the NFC South, the Bucks have the 4 seed.
Yeah.
They stink.
Yeah. And they were in trouble from losing this last week, would have left the door open for the Panthers, the Bucks, and the Saints. Instead, they knocked them out. And all that's left, there's positioning, and then there's the 7 seed.
Right.
And the weird part about it, I get why the NFL did this, because I think they're anticipating some drama with the final game being the Packers and the Lions. It will still have drama, but if Seattle wins earlier in the day, Detroit's out.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's just on to can the Packers win and get in? If the Packers control their destiny, if they win, they're the 7 seed. Seattle gets in with a Lions win and a Seattle win, and then Detroit needs Seattle to lose and Detroit to win. So
convoluted.
It is, but I think here are the Packers. I'm not as afraid. People like, don't let Aaron Rodgers in. Why? They're not. I don't think they're that dangerous. I really don't.
I don't either. They're playing better the last couple weeks. I get it. I think the big thing for them is establishing a run game.
Mm-hmm.
Finally has kind of opened up some, opportunities offensively for them. But I'm with you. I don't think the Packers are very good, number 1. And number 2, if the 49ers hold on and they're the 2 seed and the Packers get it at 7, the 49ers
have playoff ownage.
They have owned Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. And there is no way you can convince me the offense combined with that defense, which, hey, looked a little suspect over the weekend against the Raiders, but it's also one game. You can't sit there and hang too much on that, given you have to look at the whole season.
Yeah.
I would not be afraid to play the Packers at all.
Yeah.
To me, the team, none of those three teams truly scare me. Maybe Seattle, but they're coming to Santa Clara, which they got wiped in Santa Clara earlier this year. The Lions have a potent offense, but their defense is so bad.
Yeah.
I think the 49ers clearly have enough defensively to stop them, or at least, contain a lot of their offensive stuff. And I think the 49ers offense would just run all over them.
Yeah. I think, Detroit might be that young and dumb team. Like, hey, we haven't been there. We don't know better, but also, they've had some epic losses too. Like there's still that trait that the Lions have that they can melt down. So that's kind of some of the look of the NFC. Again, you've got the Cowboys in, you've got the Niners in, you've got the Giants. Congrats to them. They're in. Tampa somehow made it. Eagles are in. Just trying to figure out who and Minnesota's in that last spot. As far as the AFC, we still have an AFC South title to be won. And that was the weird game that happened last Thursday night where the Titans didn't even have to win because it all comes down to this week. They're 7-9. They play the Jags. Winner gets that 4 seed, wins the AFC South. The 1, 2, 3 is all weird because of this Bills-Bengals scenario yesterday. You got the Chiefs still up there. And then the 7 seed is still trying to be decided between the Patriots
and Dolphins.
The Dolphins. The Steelers still have an outside chance.
Isn't that the one that's just like head scratching?
Yeah.
Because, again, it goes back to, and this is a longer conversation, obviously, but extending the league 1 week and adding another playoff team, like you look at it, do any of those teams really to you scream playoffs to me? Because they don't. I think the Patriots stink. I think the Patriots are the boringest team in the NFL.
Yeah. I think the Dolphins at times look like one.
Right.
At times, but
injuries have
that's the one.
The Steelers stink.
Yeah. And the other one that was weird, I saw this scenario, Jay, for the Jags. Obviously, if they win the South. That's the best scenario for them, which would be a great story. Get Urban Meyer out of there. And,
that's who I'm rooting for is the Jags.
That would
just
be
because
fun.
Trevor Lawrence also getting some playoff experience. And, it's the Jags.
So they could be 4.
But they're the 4 seed. That's the problem.
Yeah. Their other out, though, I saw this one. They could be the 7 if they lose. So, obviously, the Titans would become the 4. They would lose. They need, which all this seems possible, the Patriots to lose, the Steelers to lose, and the Dolphins to lose. And they still get in. So they could lose and have those other 3 lose, and they're the 7 seed.
If I were the Jags, I would just focus on winning week 18.
Exactly. Make it easy.
Not waiting, not hoping
4.
3 other teams fall.
Yeah.
But
if you get that, you're home.
Yes, you do have Jaguars.
Yeah, but they would probably play like
well, at the 4, they play, correct me if I'm wrong, the 5, right?
Correct.
Which would be the Chargers currently.
Yeah.
I think the Chargers, I take it back. If you're the Jags, that's who you want. Because
Chargers?
all signs would point to the Chargers being the favorite even on the road, which means they'll lose.
Yes.
Because that's what the Chargers do.
What the Chargers do.
This team, no, I'm sorry. To me, the Chargers are the most wild-cardy team in all of the AFC. And by that, I mean if they end up playing a team like the Jags,
right,
they'll lose.
Yeah.
They go in and
very possible.
If they travel to Tennessee, they'll win.
Yeah.
They're just Chargers.
Yeah.
Well, stay away.
Well, we've looked at the scenarios. What did we learn this last week? It was a sneaky good game. It really was, with the 49ers and the Raiders. What we learned from the Raiders and the 49ers in that overtime game, we have that next.
The only place you'll find Harrison Barnes is Sactown Sports.
He's got the bucket at the buzzer. Harrison Barnes.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Harrison Barnes, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
You hear the phrase a lot this time of year, happy holidays. But holidays are not always happy, particularly for guys grappling with a divorce that they didn't choose. These men need more than the help of a good lawyer. They need the hope and encouragement of a good friend.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Sacramento area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Online at CordellCordell.com. 500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
When the world's best players get fitted for new golf clubs, they want to see their ball flight outdoors. Why should you settle for any less? The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is the area's unquestioned leader in delivering a new age of golf club fitting to Northern California. With 14 trained, skilled professionals to show you how to hit the ball farther and straighter, satisfied customers have increased their yardage, improved their games, and gained confidence. Call 916-808-2531 to get started. That's 808-2531 for longer, straighter drives.
Guys, I'll never forget the first time I saw somebody get results at our clinic. He was an 81-year-old man who hadn't been intimate with his wife in over 8 years. Viagra had stopped working for him, and he was desperate for help. After several treatments, he walked into my office and told me he couldn't believe the results. Needless to say, this was a very happy man. This man made me a believer in what we do. He had taken pills for years, but he had never fixed the problem. When he came to us, we fixed the problem. Our treatment does what no pill can do. And right now, we're offering a free treatment just for coming in. That's right. You can try this treatment at no cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today.
With clinics in Sacramento and San Mateo, call 916-829-8273. That's 916-829-8273. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
California's largest sportsman's expo is back. Looking for an off-road adventure? You'll find the best selection of side-by-sides, campers, and accessories, all at special prices. See Toyota's powerful Tundra. Discover your next adventure. Your life outdoors, January 19th through 22nd at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
Carmichael Dave here, letting you know when the housing market shifts quickly like it has the last few months, having the right mortgage company on your side is crucial in this ever-changing market. We've got just that lender. It's my guy Shelby at United Wholesale Lending. Now, you can check them out at refinancewithshelby.com. They're fast, they're local, and competitive. Shelby's team, as I've told you for years, is well known in the real estate market from real estate agents, title companies, appraisal companies. United Wholesale Lending will even get your offer fully underwritten and approved upfront so you can compete with the cash offers. With the increase in inventory, the market has shifted from a seller's market to a buyer's market. Buyers now have the opportunity to shop for the home that's right for them instead of settling for what was available. You can always refi as soon as rates come down. For United Wholesale Lending has alternative loan options like a 2-1 buy down. RefinanceWithShelby.com. That's RefinanceWithShelby.com. NMLS number 279051. BRA number 01864354.
Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, is also Northern California's #1 Honda certified pre-owned vehicle dealer.
Come see our amazing selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. We have something for everyone. Don't shop dealer to dealer trying to find the perfect used car. Stockton Honda has the selection, financing, and savings you want. Plus, get top dollar for your trade.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2021 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own one report.
Let's be real. Mopping is a hassle. You have to fill the bucket, pushing a wet, heavy mop around, then cleaning the mop when you're done so it doesn't grow bacteria. A hassle on top of a hassle. Try Swiffer Wet Jet. With Swiffer Wet Jet, you start with a fresh pad and cleaning solution every time. And when you're done, you just toss the pad. Swiffer Wet Jet, the faster, easier, cleaner way to clean your floors.
Jiffy Lube's Country in the Park, Northern California's biggest country music festival of the year, is back May 5th and 6th at Cal Expo, starring Lady A, Chris Young, Brett Eldridge, and so many more. Plus, a Boots Boot and Line Dance Saloon, interactive lounges, and Sacramento's best food trucks. Weekend passes start at just $85. Tickets are on sale now at SactownSports.com. Country in the Park, brought to you by Coors Light, E2 Family Winery, and Xfinity.
Time to check out Coastside Medical Clinic, who's dedicated to providing breakthrough remedies for men.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Your home for the biggest matchups in the NFL. Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
With your Sactown Sports headlines, I'm Jay Mars, and I'm going to pull up those headlines right about now. Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin had his heartbeat restored on the field after suffering cardiac arrest during the team's game Monday night against the Bengals, and he is currently in critical condition at a Cincinnati hospital, the Bills said in a statement early this morning. The scary scene midway through the first quarter led the game being postponed about 90 minutes after kickoff. In a conference call shortly after midnight, the NFL did not provide an update on potentially rescheduling the game as the league enters the final week of its regular season. The Kings head to Salt Lake City to take on the Jazz tonight. These two teams met on Friday night at Golden One Center, with the Kings prevailing 126-125. Shooting guards Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter are both questionable with injuries. Coverage begins at 4:30 with Game Night on Sactown Sports. Donovan Mitchell set a Cleveland Cavaliers record with 71 points, most by an NBA player in 17 years, and the Cavs rallied from 21 down to beat the Chicago Bulls 145-134 in overtime Monday night. It was the most points in the game by any player since the LA Lakers legend Kobe Bryant had 81 points against Toronto on January 22nd, 2006. Coming up today, the Athletics' Matt Barrows joins us at 8, and former NFL quarterback Sean Salisbury joins us at 8:13 from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Time to get back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, except Carmichael Dave's not here, so it's just kind of like the Jason Ross Show with Jay Mars, which just doesn't have the same ring to it. I know, right here on Sactown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone. When he's not on the microphone, he's playing a song. And when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom.
With Jason Ross.
Jay, hey, my headset's
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
I think it has a nice ring to it. I think it has a nice ring. I can't do that one as well.
Me neither.
Yeah. Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the first show of 2023. We got a lot more to get to in this hour. 1 hour from now, we are going to visit with Matt Barrows, normally on Monday, but obviously yesterday we were all off. He will join us. We're going to talk more about the 49ers and that Raiders game coming up here in just a moment as well. Some other things to touch on too, by the way, in a night that was kind of surreal for all of us. I do also appreciate the good that is in the world. I know there's enough negative, Jay, but what came out of last night's situation with Damar Hamlin was that he, I think in his hometown, had done a toy drive and had a GoFundMe page, and at the time was roughly $10,000, which is awesome.
He wanted to reach 2,500,
and he got to 10,000.
Yes,
on his own, in his own merits. His name gets out there now. The latest report, it's over 3 million.
I think actually it's over 4 now, right? I think I was just talking with. No, I think I'm sorry. It's not over 4 yet. It's at. I was just talking with Pat Dell. It's like 3.5.
That's fantastic.
I think it's going to break 5.
It's fantastic.
It is. I mean, listen, you obviously want that to happen without the reasoning behind why we're seeing this massive influx of cash going to it. But yeah, you'll take any good news that you can, and that is, again, 3.5 million. That is amazing.
Yeah,
I know Christian McCaffrey of the 49ers donated 1,000. I believe Trey Lance donated 1,000. Chris Jericho, who's a professional wrestler, I think donated 5,000. So man, that's awesome.
Wonderful. I mean, that's where the good in people can really show up. So incredible. That's awesome. Again, when we find out more of any situation there with Damar Hamlin, we will let you know. We got a lot of NBA to get to. There was really a historic night, and we'll go through what is happening in the league that is really thriving individually. We've got some number to support that. Some Kings discussion coming up this hour as well. But kind of wanted to start the hour with we haven't really had a chance to talk about that Raiders and Niners game and the whole scenario last week. I know, Jay, you were off. We got a lot into the handling of Derek Carr. It was like, what are the Raiders doing here? What is the plan? How are you treating him this way? Is this the best plan? And basically not only was, he's going to be great for these young guys. He's going to be in the room. He's going to be awesome too. He's went home. Like this is going to be, he doesn't want to be a distraction. I will admit it. I was like, Jarrett Stidham, this isn't, you're just playing out the last 2 games. This isn't the answer. He played great.
Sure.
He looked really good. Now, it's one game. It's a little bit like, oh, man, Brock Purdy, I just don't. At least they've got a bunch of weapons. Just don't screw it up. He's been pretty good. He's been really good, I would say, in the role. But for whatever reason, this game was an issue. And I thought, the Niners aren't going to have much trouble with the Raiders. They'll win this one by about 10 to 14 points. And they were trailing most of this game. They had no answer for Davante Adams. Gould missed the kick to force overtime. That fortunately they did win. But that was a nail-biter. Proved to be a fun game, filled with red in Vegas. So many Niner fans, which we thought would happen. But I guess all that matters is you win. I didn't think the Niners played the best version of themselves.
They didn't. And the fact that they still came out with a victory, to your point, is all that matters. In a league that you play 17 games, every win counts the same way, first and foremost. Secondly, when it came to I'll just address the Stidham and the Carr thing real quick, because I haven't really had a chance to talk about this. I think that game is the worst case scenario for Raiders fans more than anything. Everyone talks about the Niners got exposed or the Raiders. Yeah, the Raiders exposed some stuff. Namely that when you have a guy named Davante Adams, it doesn't matter how good your secondary is. I mean, that bomb that Stidham threw to him, was that in the fourth quarter? There's not another receiver in the league that catches that football. I mean, it's a decent throw made great by Davante Adams, first and foremost. So let's start there. But I think right now you're getting a lot of false hope in Jarrett Stidham. It's one game.
Yeah.
Remember, this is a guy that is very familiar with Josh McDaniels' offense, very familiar with him by the time they spent together in New England, which is probably why he was brought over to back up in the first place. Secondly, look at Derek Carr's track records when playing with new play callers. That first year's never particularly great. You know, we saw this the first year with John Gruden. When John Gruden and company took over, it was all about how Derek Carr just not the guy. Following seasons played much better. I think everyone in silver and black, if you think Jarrett Stidham's the answer, you're being sold. No.
Yeah.
He's not the answer.
Well, and even when they made this decision, I said, okay, I mean, organizations have to make tough decisions. I didn't necessarily agree with it. This may end up being the greatest thing for Derek Carr because now he can kind of pick what his future might be with a no trade clause in there. There's some different things, and there's some financial natures to this by the decision for the Raiders. But what's the upgrade? And if the short-term plan is, hey, Stidham is comfortable with McDaniels, we can go to work with him next year while drafting a quarterback, hopefully developing. If that's the plan, I don't think that's going to be very successful.
No, you're going to have a down year.
Yeah.
Again,
at least one.
What you saw on Sunday, I would not if you have any expectation that Jarrett Stidham is going to do that, like over 17 games, again, you're being sold a dream, number one. Number two, to your point, the other side of that coin that I don't see getting talked about a lot is if Derek Carr goes, what does that mean for Davante Adams?
Right, who literally came there to be with his friend.
100%.
Yeah.
He's not going to want to stick around.
Right.
Especially because next year will definitely be a rebuilding year if you're doing that.
Yeah.
He's not going to want to stick around, so you're going to lose him. Josh Jacobs is probably gone by the end of the year. Remember, they did not pick up his option, and he leads the NFL, I believe, in rush yards. Okay, so you're losing all those core pieces. Where do you go from there?
Right.
You have to rebuild, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that would mean drafting a quarterback. And yeah, you'll have 1 year probably with Jarrett Stidham at the helm.
But are you going to get the right quarterback? How many times is there a Zach Wilson drafted? He still may be the right guy, but Trey Lance or
look at Mac Jones.
Yeah, teams that move on from quarterbacks that because they didn't get it right. Yeah, if you get Mahomes, if you get Herbert, but that's few and far between.
How many Mahomes and Herberts are there compared to Zach Wilson's and Trey Lance's? Right? It's significantly
because
less.
Everybody, and you could even have in between where you go, hey, the Rams felt good about Jared Goff. Well, they moved on and won a Super Bowl with another quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Lions love Stafford, but at some point we got to move on. Well, he wins a Super Bowl somewhere else. A lot of who? Actually, we could probably do that exercise.
And both Goff and Stafford, to your point, are again really good draft picks.
Yeah, I would say they were successful.
They were successful draft picks.
Right.
You know, when you look at the body of their work.
Yeah.
And again, there's a lot less of them as compared to guys drafted in the first 3 rounds at quarterback who just suck when they get to the NFL for whatever reason.
It just doesn't work out.
Doesn't develop properly. Again, it's a case-by-case scenario, but I don't know. To me, again, that couldn't have worked out worse for Raider fan because there's obviously now everything's going to be pinned on Derek Carr. Right. And that he was the problem. You're going to find out. I don't think Derek Carr has been the issue. Is Derek Carr a top 10 quarterback in the league? No. Top 16, yes.
Yeah, but you have to upgrade, and there's not many upgrades. And even the short-term upgrades that were talked about were aging veterans like a Tom Brady or an Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, but then if you're doing that feels like a lateral move to me. And you might have to go backwards to go forwards, but if you're going backwards, how long is that? Is that a year? Is that 2 years? Is that 3 years?
At least 2, right?
Yeah.
There's not, again, when you look at the Raiders roster as a whole, all right? Again, let's look back at the offense. If you're losing Derek Carr, there's a good chance Devontae Adams is like, nah, I'm not coming back. Again, you didn't pick up Jacobs' offer, so he's a likely free agent, going to probably go somewhere else. Those are your biggest offensive weapons. I mean, you still have Darren Waller and Hunter Renfrow, but again, depending on who's quarterbacking and the weapons around them, how good is that going to hold up? And then you look at the defensive side of the ball, which has just been a travesty.
Yeah, Carr's never had a top 20 defense.
No,
never.
Ever. And again, Max Crosby, okay.
He's a stud.
He's a stud, but who else?
That's the end of the list.
Everybody else you've drafted over the last 4 or 5 years has been a bust on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
You see Cleveland Farrell.
Right.
He's likely to be gone. And he was a, number 4 overall pick?
Yeah, and they spent money on Chandler Jones, who did not have the year they hoped for.
No, he played like 3 good games.
Right. And has the moment against the Patriots, which was still one of the bizarre moments of the year.
But that's what I mean. Yeah. It's just a bizarro moment, and that's probably how his whole Raiders tenure will be defined.
Yeah.
I don't know. This, to me, the Raiders just kind of look hopeless. On the other side, the 49ers, I thought the one thing that this game showed is that Nick Bosa is the best defensive player in the world.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to get the defensive player of the year. I think that's a wrap. McCaffrey ran over 100. Purdy still did some good things. I don't know if it was taking them lightly. I just don't know. It wasn't they weren't as sharp as they've been. I didn't feel like they found Kittle as much.
They found him when they needed to, though.
They did.
Ayuk really carried them in that fourth quarter.
He did. So now you go, okay, can you implement Elijah Mitchell? Can you implement Deebo Samuel? And I would say this year, the totality of the year, the Chiefs game, the weird Falcons game when they had a lot of people hurt, and then this one was their 3 worst defensive games of the year. They feel like outliers. I hope this is their last bad, kind of weird defensive game, because I felt like that was the game. A guy starting his first NFL game, a team that's mathematically alive, but you can finish. I thought the Niners would choke them out and win, 27-10 and make the Raiders look inept. Instead, the Raiders moved the ball all day.
They did. They really did. And that defense obviously, again, got, I don't want to say exposed. I think that's a little too
I think it was just drastic. A bad day.
It's a bad day, but the one big takeaway I took from the game was I liked that this was a good pressure situation for Purdy. Again, the Raiders not the greatest team to go up against in those situations. But he looked poised late in the fourth and in overtime. Mm-hmm. He looked poised.
He did.
And that was the big thing takeaway going into the playoffs.
Oh,
he's going to need to be poised because he's going to have situations where, hey, the game is on the line late in the game, and you need him to execute.
Yeah. All right, we've got 3 questions and 3 answers coming up in 3 for including the future of Jim Harbaugh. And does that include him returning to the National Football League? We've got that next.
The only place you'll find Harrison Barnes is Sactown Sports.
He's got the bucket at the buzzer. Harrison Barnes.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Harrison Barnes, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Individual rates, coverage, offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions, not available in all areas. Hey, small business owner, when's the last time you checked your workers' comp rate? For many small businesses, workers' comp insurance is one of their biggest costs, but some don't check their rate often. Did you know rates can vary? In fact, taking 3 minutes to check your rate with Pi Insurance could save you up to 30%. Just go to trypi.com, share a few details about your business, and get a quote that's customized for you with no hassle or hidden fees. We know you're busy, but spending just a few minutes to check your rate could save you money. Plus, with Pi, you can have peace of mind knowing your employees are protected. Our team of friendly customer representatives are just a call away, ready to help. It's no wonder customers rate us excellent on Trustpilot. Find out how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for pie or get a quote at trypie.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Here's question 1.
All right, question number 1 on our 3 for Madness. What do you have for us today, Jay?
Rumor has it that Jim Harbaugh is interested in getting back in the NFL. Should he do it? And should a team be interested?
Second part first for me. Yes, a team should be interested, and I've got the team. It should be the Raiders. Honestly, that's what I said last week. Cut ties with McDaniels. You can move on from Carr. That's fine. I mean, I think you're going that direction. But Jim Harbaugh has won everywhere, and I think he'll win again in the NFL. I think he'll have a tough team, a physical team. That's the nature he plays with. And the Raiders have been interested in him in the past. I think the Davis family is interested in him. I think while the opportunity is here, if he is interested, if you're still interested, do it. Sure, McDaniels can still get another run. I'm not convinced he's the coach of the Raiders. I think they could do better, and I think Harbaugh will be better. That's my opinion on that. Now, the other part, it just depends on what Jim Harbaugh wants. Me, personally, I think he's got everything he needs and wants and will get paid for at Michigan. Sure. If he wants to ultimately say the NFL is the higher talent level, yes, but like I'll get more out of coaching the NFL than do that. But otherwise, I think when you've got a great college gig and you're paid well, if that's what you care about, you're the program. It's you. Mm-hmm. I would think that's me, but I don't know what he wants.
He's won 2 straight conference titles now with Michigan, which I think was the ultimate goal there, because it's really hard to win a national title in the NCAA.
And they were really close. I thought they'd beat TCU. I really did. But
and it's very difficult to win the national title in the NCAA, especially when you're not an SEC team. So it really comes down to, okay, have I accomplished, again, you didn't win a national title in Michigan.
No.
Does Jim Harbaugh believe he can win a national title at Michigan? To me, is really where this comes down to, because Jim Harbaugh is the type of guy that I don't think just wants to settle in somewhere and coach 20 seasons.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Michigan job was extremely appealing to him as a former Michigan quarterback, but he's done a lot with that program, and he's done very well there. The NFL Super Bowl still eludes him. He got there. And quite frankly, I love Kyle Shanahan. Jim Harbaugh was dismissed in San Francisco in a very unceremonious way. And that was really Jed York's bad more than anything. And Harbaugh has a reputation of kind of being a hard ass and someone difficult to work with. But listen, when you win at that level, you kind of have the right to do that. So first part is, should he be interested? He absolutely should be interested. If there is a better situation out there than Michigan. So let's go back to those scenarios that you spoke of. Let's talk about the Raiders. To me, that job is not as good as the Michigan job.
Correct.
I think the Michigan job is better than the Raiders job
But
today.
it's one of 32, and I'm sure it's a ton of opportunity to get better. And the one thing about the NFL, you can turn that quickly.
Oh,
you really
for sure. I just don't think the Raiders are the organization that you can turn that quickly, just because I believe they're inept at the top.
It's been proven that.
So let's look at some of the other jobs. The Texans job, I wouldn't want that. I'm sorry. Again, another organization that is inept at top. Cardinals, there's some intrigue there. They got guys, can he be the one to get through to Kyler Murray? I think that if he's that guy, that team all of a sudden becomes very intriguing. Denver, can he be the one to get through to fix Russell Wilson back to what he, was in Seattle? There's intrigue there. The Colts, Jeff Saturday will not be back as head coach next year.
And that's where he played.
And that's been
if he has any connection there.
And that's been an underachieving team these last 2 seasons. That's a very talented team that hasn't performed. I think the Raiders job sucks. You look around, is, Dennis Allen back in New Orleans next year? I don't think that's a particularly great job. So there's some intriguing NFL jobs. I just don't think any of them are better than Michigan currently. I think we'll see Jim Harbaugh back in the NFL at some point. I just don't know if next year's the year.
Yeah, I don't know how many years. Let me see if I can figure this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's at Michigan longer than I thought. He's been there 8, but that's about
he's been there
his
a while
shelf
now.
life is, he's at San Diego, University of San Diego, then Stanford, the 49ers, Michigan. He just kind of, it seems like it's been about a 4 or 5 year plan. He's been at Michigan longer than most, but still young enough to have a run in the NFL. And even if it's hey, he's at the Raiders for 5 years, he would make them better in that 5-year stretch.
I agree. And we also have to remember he damn near won a Super Bowl in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
He coached very good San Francisco 49ers teams. That when you're looking at that stands out to me more than anything he's done in college when you talk about getting back to the NFL, is he has a proven track record of winning in the NFL.
Yeah.
And you combine that with his college coaching. I think Jim Harbaugh is a super intriguing NFL coaching candidate. I also think Jim Harbaugh has done enough to wait it out for the right situation.
Exactly. That's it. Selecting the job. People should want him in the NFL. It's should he want that job, that particular job in the NFL? All right, question 2.
Question 2.
Will Donovan Mitchell's 71-point performance be topped this NBA season?
That sounds like there's no way, and that's ridiculous. But the way this year is going, I did some number crunching before the show, Jay. 87 40-point games this year. 13 50-point games this year.
By the way, there was one last night that nobody's talking about because of Mitchell's 71, and then obviously the other news that's been happening. Klay Thompson put up 54 points
he did.
last night.
Now, that did go double overtime, but still Klay was having a game, and Mitchell also went overtime. So I'm going to say no, even though I want to say yes. 71 is absurd, and there's only, 6 games higher than that in the history of the league. But with the three-pointer, with the high volume of scoring this year of individuals, it feels like it's possible. And what I love is I don't want to say the randomness of this because I'm looking at the people that have had multiple 40-point games this year. Okay, so Tatum, Embiid, Giannis, Luka, these all make sense to me. Booker. But here's some other 40-point scores this year, Jay, that I'm going to just do the outliers that had one game. Karis LeVert, Porzingis, Tyler Hero, Julius Randle, Tyrese Halliburton, Zion Williamson, Pascal Siakam, John Morant, Anthony Simons, RJ Barrett, Tyrese Maxey, Jeremy Grant. 40-point games for all those guys?
Remember when 40-point games was only something that great players accomplished?
Yeah.
And that's not disrespectful to anybody on that list. There's some really good players on that list.
Most of those guys
Halliburton
won't be all-star. Well, he might be, but
I think Tyrese is all-star this year.
I do too. But Simons won't be. RJ Barrett won't be.
No.
I mean,
I don't think
Karis
Randall is
LeVert,
this year just because the Knicks aren't great. But to your point, it's more rotation guys are putting up these games randomly. I don't think we'll get past 71 just because that's a huge number. But here's what I'll say to this. We don't see someone exceed the 71. I don't think we see another 70-point score, by the way.
I might see a 60, though.
I think we'll see a 60 this year.
Yeah.
I think we'll probably see multiple 60s this year.
Yeah.
We came close last night.
Yeah, it's very possible, especially with the threes. And then now I think when people sometimes it gets a little contagious for a while. It's like
threes, and it's just you can't play defense the way you used to. It's so much easier to score in the NBA than it ever has been.
Yeah. I mean, you get special days. LeBron has his birthday. He goes for 40+. He goes for 40+ again last night.
But it doesn't even feel like anything anymore when he does it. It's just like LeBron went for 40. You're like, yeah, we know.
Yeah.
He's LeBron.
Great. Yeah. Incredible. All right, question 3.
Question 3.
If the San Francisco 49ers stay the number 2 seed, they would play either Green Bay, Detroit, or Seattle. Rank those 3 opponents in order of who they should want to face.
I feel good about all of them.
Oh, for sure.
Who they should want to face. Well, my general rule is the best quarterback is the scariest. So I guess I would put the Packers 3, though I'm not that afraid of them, and the 49ers have owned Aaron Rodgers when he's been the MVP.
Yes.
He's not the MVP this year, has not been his same self. They've become more of a running team, and I don't think they're as good. So I'll still put them as the one to avoid, but that's based on probably a lifetime achievement from Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
And the Packer name. That just sounds more intimidating. Oh, Niners, Packers. The Packers aren't the same team.
No.
The Niners were beating when they were a 13-win team, a 14-3 team.
They have beaten him his whole career.
They have.
In big game situations. And that's with completely different teams have beaten him.
Yeah.
Throughout his whole career in big game situations.
I'll probably put Seattle 2 as the one to avoid next, just because of familiarity. They know them. They know them well. I think the Niners would beat them. And Detroit would be the most appealing, I guess. But their offense
on this.
Their offense could be scary, but and I think Campbell would coach like they're out of it. So it's like I'm going to go for this 4th down. I mean, those teams are a little bit scary when you don't play fear based. I like coaches like that, but it also could backfire. I mean, I just think the Niners are better. So I guess I'll go in order of preference to play, it would be Detroit, Seattle, Green Bay, but I like their chances against all of them.
I'll also go in order of preference to play. Team that I would want to play the most is Seattle, just because you've beaten them twice this year already. Once in Seattle, which is a very difficult place to play, you beat them in where it would be their setting to win a game. And then you just kind of wiped the floor with them earlier in the season when your starting quarterback went down and you bring in your backup who hadn't even had a training camp, and he went out there and exploited them pretty badly. I think Seattle's the most appealing team to play just because I think the 49ers have their number and would wipe the floor with them. To me, second least appealing team, to your point, Detroit, because of all those things you said. They're just kind of young and dumb.
Yeah.
They don't know any better. And to me, the least appealing team to play would be the Packers, just because, again, it is Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. If he had a day.
He can have a day.
Yep.
And that's just really it. It's not a great argument as to why, but it's just really that's Aaron Rodgers.
I think because we've seen it. Not against the Niners per se, but you're like, that's still Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
Like, could he throw for 350 and 4 scores?
Sure.
Yeah, that feels possible.
They got some momentum going in.
Yeah.
They've played a lot better the last 2 weeks. So, yeah, that's how I would order it.
Still like the Niners in this. We'll talk about that with Matt Barrows in 30 minutes. But when we come back, we've been gone for a while, a few days since our last show. Talk about what's happened with the Sacramento Kings. Some good and some bad, but really more good. The feel good about this story continues. We got some Kings discussion next.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. And Safe Credit Union. Let us put you first.
American Energy wants to make sure you and your family are safe this winter with a $49 furnace tune-up. Plus, if you're ready for a new one, get half off with American Energy's 50% off furnace special. With 0% financing and payment plan options available, there's no reason to keep putting off making your home safe, warm, and comfy for you and your family this holiday. Call American Energy today at 916-520-9990 or visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable. 50% off furnace when you purchase a whole home HVAC system. Limited time only. Cannot be combined with other offers or specials.
The all-new NBA app is happening and has you covered from coast to coast. With live tip-offs at your fingertips and highlights right as they happen.
Steph Curry drills the three.
Catch every can't-miss moment before, during, and after the game. And behind the scenes like you've never seen. It's all access, all the time. All in one app. Because if it's happening in the new NBA app. So get the app today.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications, like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The new year is upon us with promises of new beginnings and new adventures, but don't let 2022 slip away without savoring the memories of all you enjoyed with family and friends. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Of course, looking forward with anticipation is exciting, but I have a lot to appreciate in this past year, and much of that revolves around time with family and more good time spent around my Naturewood dining table. Watching my grandson get messy with his birthday cake is priceless, and it reminds me that new life is the perfect balance between yesterday and today. Greet the new year with a visit to Naturewood Home Furnishings. See all the fine furniture and accessories on sale with Naturewood's New Year sale. Find that perfect piece of furniture that's new today and filled with memories for tomorrow. The memories you make with your family will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
This time check is brought to you by West Coast Men's Health Acoustic Wave Therapy.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
With your Sactown Sports headlines, I'm Jay Mars. Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin had his heartbeat restored on the field after suffering cardiac arrest during the team's game Monday night against the Bengals, and he's currently in critical condition at a Cincinnati hospital, the Bills said in a statement early this morning. The scary scene midway through the first quarter led to the game being postponed about 90 minutes after kickoff. In a conference call shortly after midnight, the NFL did not provide an update on potentially rescheduling the game as the league enters the final week of its regular season. The Kings head to Salt Lake City to take on the Jazz tonight. These two teams met on Friday night at the Golden One Center, with the Kings prevailing 126-125. Shooting guards Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter are both questionable with injuries. Coverage begins at 4:30 with Game Night on Sactown Sports. Donovan Mitchell set a Cleveland Cavaliers record with 71 points, most by an NBA player in 17 years, and the Cavs rallied from 21 down to beat the Chicago Bulls 145-134 in overtime Monday night. It was the most points in a game by any player since LA Lakers legend Kobe Bryant had 81 against Toronto on January 22nd, 2006. Coming up today, the Athletics' Matt Barrows joins us at 8, and former NFL quarterback Sean Salisbury joins us at 8:13 from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are your headlines. Back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Carmichael Dave.
He has very good sources, and he just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say.
He's good at what he does.
On Sactown Sports.
Fans are very complimentary of you.
Very nice. Very nice. Back here on the show, Jason Ross, J. Mars Davis back with us tomorrow. We got Kings basketball tonight. We've had a couple of games that have taken place since our last show as we're rolling into a brand new year. And, we're getting farther along into the season here, Jay, too, because, we get to that point. Well, it's early. It's early. And, yes, there's still a lot of basketball left. But about this time next week, no, it's after this upcoming homestand. So they have today's game and then the 5-game homestand. That's 41 games.
Yeah, crazy. Well, we're halfway through the season, right?
So the question I guess I have is what we are seeing right now for the bulk of this, and that's with a 4-game slide to start the year, a 3-game losing streak in there, a 7-game win streak. I mean, this is the team. Do you think this is sustainable? I mean, here they are at 19 and 16 as a good team, currently the 6th seed. Maybe some other teams get hotter. Maybe some other teams fall apart. And certainly I think the trade deadline will be something to monitor too. But I feel here's my general thought on the Kings. I see a team that has improved defense, not the best team, but I think there's a compete level there. I feel like they've now identified the roles for the most part. I think that 7, 8, 9 guy has changed a little bit and may still change as the season goes along. But if they get high-level DeMontis, high-level Fox, and a 3rd or 4th player to jump in like we saw Monk do, we saw Huerter do, and it's been Mitchell, it's been
Keegan Murray even.
Murray, Barnes.
10 games
Someone
times.
does it. Someone's kind of in there, or a group of them kind of maybe lift up their scoring level. They're pretty tough to beat, and especially at home. And then, if any part of that equation is off, they can now still beat you. And that's where I think it's different. It's like that's the blueprint to be great. Sure. The other one is, hey, Fox wasn't as good tonight, but they won. Or we haven't said this much, Sabonis wasn't as good tonight. Or, hey, they didn't shoot well, but actually the defense and free throw shooting helped them. Or, man, they shot the ball lights out. They really didn't defend well, but they still won. I feel like there are more ways for them to win, which to me makes them a better team.
Yeah, I think it is sustainable. But I also think they have issues that they need to address. And by the way, when we say sustainable, I want to just throw out the disclaimer, barring major injury.
Yeah, because I think that was a game changer with Sabonis if he went out.
I mean, but if De'Aaron Fox has to go out for a extended amount of time, it's not as dire as if you lose DeMontis Sabonis, but it hurts the team significantly.
But I think Huerter would or like those are smaller. They're important pieces, though.
Those important pieces, though, are easier voids to fill. Kind of like what you said is, Kevin Huerter's having a bad game. Well, Malik Monk can come in and put 30 up on you, and that, combined with a good game from Fox and Sabonis will likely get you to victory.
Yeah.
Those are easier to fill to me. It's just those two guys being Fox and Sabonis again. If either of them goes down with major injury, it is a problem. Sabonis more than Fox, in my opinion. So I just want to put that disclaimer out there again. This is all barring injury. This is if the team is relatively healthy. I think it is sustainable, but I think one thing that is kind of been an interesting conversation all this year is the quote unquote need for a backup center, right? This is what we have been hearing. Like, this is this team's Achilles heel is once Domantas Sabonis goes out of the game. We have seen Mike Brown try Rashawn Holmes, Chimezie Metu, some small ball 5 with Trey Lyles, even to a point. There was a time they brought up Neemias Queta to see if he was capable of fulfilling that role, and none of it's worked, right? There's been no answer to that problem. To me, I think you have your backup center. I think it is Rashawn Holmes, and, he's actually gotten off the bench the last few games, which has been refreshing. I like Rashawn. I think Rashawn is a good player in the NBA. I think kind of one thing you've brought up, and I think you were dead on, you brought it up very early in the season, is look, it's just the way when you get Rashawn Holmes in there and he's playing with, for instance, Davion Mitchell is basically your best playmaker on the floor, that does not bode well for what Rashawn does, especially offensively. Mm-hmm. He needs another playmaker to get him open. And you saw it in the Memphis game. I felt like they were trying to get him more involved in the offense, and they kept turning the ball over because they were forcing it into him. They didn't have a playmaker on the floor with him that could get him easy open looks. To me, that is more what this team needs than actually a backup center. You got guys capable of playing that position, but the problem is when those guys are on the floor, listen, Davion Mitchell is a good backup point guard. He's not a playmaker. I think Davion is actually a better scorer than playmaker, and he's not even known for his scoring. Yeah. But he's not a playmaker. This is not his game.
Their best playmaker, I think, besides really Fox and Sabonis, is Monk.
Yes. And even he is going to look for his shot first.
Mm-hmm. And there's some wildness at times with him.
Absolutely. Yeah. He's not a steady hand as a playmaker. Capable, yes. Not a steady hand. Now, what does that look like as far as the trade market or even, the Kings, weirdly enough, if they maintain here going past the trade deadline, is there a candidate to get someone in the buyout market potentially? They need another playmaker off that bench. Somebody that is steady. It doesn't even have to be a point guard. They just need somebody that can get other guys involved on offense. And if you can get Rashawn Holmes to come off the bench and you have someone that can set him up for those, easy push shots and stuff like that and just get him to be somewhat of a resembling what we saw early last year in the season before that, I think that solves your backup 5 problem.
Yeah, I think that's been a little bit overplayed for this team because it has worked enough with Trey Lyles, Metu, Queta, Holmes, Land, just enough of what they've done. You want a little. They would want more from that position. I'm not saying that's all solved, but I think they've been comfortable playing small, and they've asked a lot of Sabonis. But to your point, Jay, I think if they went and attacked that position and got, I don't know, insert quality backup big man, the name I've thrown out that I don't think would cost them a ton, but let's just say someone like JaVale McGee.
Sure.
Clearly your backup makes you longer, more athletic. He actually has run offense through him at times as either a starting center or a backup through the Lakers and the Warriors. Dallas isn't using him much. But if that cost you something that's important to the piece of the puzzle now, is that a net win?
Right.
I don't know that answer. But to where you're saying another playmaker, I could see that being more beneficial. Now, what's that going to cost you? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, but that could maybe reap more benefits than looking at a position that feels like weakness, but I feel like they've covered it enough.
Right. And like we said, Rashawn Holmes just didn't overnight become a bad basketball player.
It's more of the fit or the way they play right now compared. Right. Like if Tyrese were still here and they were doing more of the pick and roll and pick and run and rim run and lob, perfect. Yeah. They're not doing that. It's a lot of high post, read and react, cut, and Holmes can do it. Sabonis is gifted at it. Yeah, Sabonis just makes it look so easy. No one else does it like him on the team.
No, Rashawn Holmes is not a guy you're running your offense through. He's a rim runner, to your point. He's an athletic 5. Yes, that's his game. And as the backup center, you want that.
That can still fit.
But if you're going to be a rim running 5, you need, to your point, and Tyrese is a great example of when you have a guy that's elite at it, because Tyrese out of the pick and roll finding Rashawn was just elite. They don't have that guy as a backup.
Yeah.
And I'm not even at this point saying you need an elite playmaker. You just need someone that is a competent and consistent playmaker. Yeah. And they'll be able to find Rashawn, and that's all you need. You don't need Rashawn to put up 20 and 15.
No. Yeah.
You need him just to be able to come in, give Domantas Sabonis a rest, and be efficient.
Yeah. Well, and that's where you then go to your strengths. How they're using Mitchell now is literally a defensive weapon. Now he has come in where he's always been a good defender, but you go, man, he is coming in and changing the game with his defense. Any offense he gives you is a nice bonus, but those defensive just pest plays where he's turning offensive guys around, getting them uncomfortable, and that's the strength of his game. So they've done a good job of identifying strengths. It's been a real fun team to watch. It's been great to see them at home, fun on the road as well. And tonight they get another crack at the Jazz. And that game on New Year's Eve was a classic. What will tonight's encore have in store? We'll preview that one next.
The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sactown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
At Folsom Lake Honda, in addition to great prices on new Hondas, we stock the best selection of quality pre-owned vehicles, and each one of those vehicles is priced to sell now.
With new cars in high demand, Folsom Lake Honda has a great selection of quality one-owner trades with low miles, and each is priced to sell now. Every used vehicle on the lot comes with a Carfax vehicle history report and has passed a safety inspection. Shop our entire selection at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
California's largest sportsman's expo is back January 19th at Cal Expo. Get $3 off coupons at Big O Tires and O'Reilly Auto Parts stores. Get expert advice at free seminars and activities. Go to sportsexpos.com for locations and get to the action with Toyota's legendary Tacoma. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 19th through 22nd at Cal Expo in Sacramento.
We all know the pain of being stuck in the past. But with Roseville Electric, you can get current. Roseville Electric provides you with clean, reliable electric solutions for your home or business. Whether you're looking to go electric, reduce your carbon footprint, or simply save on your monthly energy bill, Roseville Electric has a solution for you. For more info, visit getcurrentroseville.com today.
I'm Tamron Hall. Why give your family just ordinary eggs when they can enjoy the best? Eggland's Best. The only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition compared to ordinary eggs. With 6 times more vitamin D, 10 times more vitamin E, 25% less saturated fat, and 38% more lutein. Because the way we care is anything but ordinary. Only Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
How long does it take to tackle a home project? With Angie, you could cross it off your list before this ad is over. Just tell us what you need, indoor or outdoor, repair or redesign, and we handle the rest, sending a top pro to get it done. You don't have to lift a finger, except to tap the screen or click the mouse. Plus, Angie is free to use. So bring us your next home project, and we'll bring it home. Download the app or go to Angie.com. That's ANGI.com to get started.
Servicing your vehicle has never been so easy at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Schedule your next service appointment anytime, anywhere at StocktonHonda.com. It only takes a minute to schedule, and our award-winning service team will have you back on the road in no time. Oil changes, tires, parts, and more.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. It's normal. With CalHope's free and secure mental health resources, it's easy to get the help you and your loved ones need when you need it the most. Call our warm line at 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org today.
They bleed black and purple. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on your local sports leader, Sactown Sports.
Kings go inside. Fox powers down a two-hand flush from the left baseline, and he was fouled. And my goodness, that one came out of nowhere. And Fox just viciously attacking the iron, and he'll get an and one. He posterized Kelly Olynyk. Oh my goodness.
So many great moments.
Play of the year.
Yeah, up there. I mean, yes, I felt in that game the block that Holmes had on Beasley, Fox's dunk, and then I got to play this again, Jay, because you've been in that building, I've been in that building, many people have been in that building. When this happened, to close that game against Utah on New Year's Eve, felt like just such an incredibly loud moment. I want to hear it again. This was the G-Man's call of Kevin Huerter's 3-ball on a third opportunity that put the Kings up and gave him 30 points.
Fox into the front court, into the paint, pulls up, trying to tie it around a two-bouncer, no good. Kept alive by the Kings. Back to Fox, floater, way short, no good. Rebound, grabbed by Harrison Barnes. Swings to Huerter, three on the way. He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead. 30 points, a season high for Huerter, and it's 9.2 seconds to go in the ball game. It's also a career high for Kevin Huerter. His previous best came when he was playing for Atlanta in the 2019 campaign at Philly when he had 29.
Incredible moment. So loud. It's that anticipation, too.
Yes.
Two looks at it like, Fox, yes. Oh, no. Fox again. And then the one extra pass, and we were online, and it's just like everybody's rising with the shot, and you're like, that looks good. And when it goes through, just boom.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Was it the possession prior, or maybe it was two possessions prior? I remember he had a similar look for three.
He did.
That went in and out.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like you knew he was feeling it.
Yeah, he was having a great game.
He was having a great game. That one went in and out. When I saw him load up to shoot that three, I'm like, oh, this is going in. I'm like, that's money.
Yeah,
because he wasn't going to miss again.
In the moment when the rebound, I think it got out to Murray. I'm like, Murray was wide open, and I'm like, oh, rookie, you got to take that
pass, baby.
When he passed, I'm like, no, that's a good look because Huerter's open, and I'm like, ooh,
he's had a great game
for the lead too. And then you think about the fragile nature of the game. Again, I talk about this all the time. It feels like every Kings game comes down to a 2-possession game in the last 3 minutes. Well, those two games, the most recent wins at home, the Denver second out of a back-to-back, and then that one, they go up late. And one was on a Monk free throw. This one was on the Huerter three. And you need a defensive stop. And, Jay, the difference on if Jokic makes his shot and if Markkanen makes the shot, the Kings are 17 and 18.
Yep.
But they missed. You get two great home wins. You can afford to, not that you wanted to lose to Memphis, but you're okay. That game doesn't derail anything. And you can get right back on track with what would be a quality win against a Jazz team. I mean, I'd seen the Jazz play a couple times earlier, especially when they were 10 and 3. I'm like, how are these guys doing this? And I thought, boy, they're kind of fun. And then watching them live, that was one of the most entertaining games. I think coming off the heels of a great game with Denver, Markkanen, I don't know why this is his third team. Like, people just missed on him, I guess.
I mean, there's been injury.
Yeah.
He's in the past with Markkanen, which I think has really been the only big issue you can find with him.
I think Cleveland wanted him, but they got Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was just straight up. They had an opportunity to get Donovan Mitchell, and it's one of those rare trades that I think has worked out for both teams. Yeah. Cleveland more so than Utah right now, but I think that was anticipated.
Yeah.
Markkanen is really good. He's been really good, and he's having the best year of his career, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And, we saw early in his tenure in Chicago, like, it was obvious why he was a top 10 pick in the league. But this year, he's really kind of stepped into his own, and Utah is kind of the guy. I don't think you could acquire him, but I've always said, like, man, you want to find the perfect four to play next to Domantas Sabonis. Yeah. There's your guy right there.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think you have the means to acquire him, but it's a completely different story other than he's really good. And that's just kind of the Jazz. They got some guys that are really good. Jordan Clarkson has been a revelation since he's been in Utah. Mike Conley is still a steady hand. He's not what he used to be, but he's still a good player.
Yeah.
They got guys that can play. Malik Beasley was good while he was in Minnesota.
Jared Vanderbilt would make every team
love
better.
Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
I wish there's a guy I wish the Kings could get to come off the bench as Jared Vanderbilt. I mean, he's just so he's a tough guy. He's a dog. They have guys that can play basketball.
Yeah.
Like they don't suck.
Right.
But they're also not. They've regressed to the mean.
They have,
obviously,
and that's why I think tonight. We talk a lot as the season goes along. When you play 82, sometimes there's schedule losses. I'm not saying this is one for the Kings by any means, but you've got a Utah team that has struggled a little bit and easily could have beaten the Kings 2 days ago at Golden One, but just fell short. They've lost 4 in a row. It's the front end of a back-to-back for the Kings, and the Kings play the next night against Atlanta, who lost last night and really had a game taken away from them by the Warriors. They've lost 4 in a row, and they've been a little bit disappointing. So I think these next 2 are sneaky difficult in the sense that, when a team starts to lose 3 and 4, you go, oh, they're struggling. Well, generally, you get to about that point, and then there's the redirect, and you win. You just hope the Kings can extend it one more day. So I think they're walking into a couple of tough matchups over the next 2 days, and Utah has to be confident because, Sabonis came back and played amazing. The Kings had a lot of – Herter has 30. You had some heroic performances at home to beat you by 1. So I got to believe Utah's going to be fully confident tonight.
But they've also lost 4 in a row.
They have.
So again, to your point, is this the redirect game for them, or is this the game, if they lose tonight, then you're looking at a team that is spiraling.
Right.
4 in a row is obviously bad. You lose 5 in a row, that's going to have people really starting to question whether or not they're going to compete, throughout the entire season, which those questions have already been there.
Yeah, from 10-3 to 19-20. I think when the Kings were playing the other day, they had the 6th worst record since that start. So, that's a pretty big swing.
No, it is. And if you're the Kings, this is if you can get a win tonight going into a 5-game homestand, you would be at that point, 20-16. Man, going into that 5-game homestand with being 4 games above 500. We talked about this again with a 6-game homestand, so I don't want to get too much ahead of myself here. But boy, this is really a chance for you to break out in that Pacific Division.
Well, and
which weirdly you are leading right now.
And it's over the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games. Again, dangerous game to play, but I'm just going to read the schedule because it never plays the way you think. But Jay, over the next 9 games, nobody is above 500.
And what's their record against teams under 500? 10-3, I believe.
So
you're feeling good. You win tonight.
I'm not saying 9-0, but even if the other part about this, let's just give them 5-4, which isn't earth shattering. That still is making progress. I think people would be disappointed by that, but you're just knocking games down.
Right.
You're just running out of schedule time. But here it is at Utah tonight. The homestand is Atlanta, the Lakers, Orlando, Houston. They go to San Antonio, they go to the Lakers, and then they're back home for OKC before some matchups with teams above 500. Again, I don't know what they'll do. I don't even think it makes sense to predict, but it is favorable. And you just hope that it would be really nice to build some even more equity and have a really good cushion.
Oh, absolutely. Again, when you were gone, I don't remember if it was your vacation week or your kidney stone week, but me and Dave were talking about it. Like, what's crazy? The Kings could go into 2023 as the best team in the Pacific Division. And we were getting text and, chat like, yeah, right. It is 2023. It is January 3rd. The Kings are the best team in the Pacific Division. Now, granted, it's not by much. I mean, it's literally via win percentage. I think they're like, 0.05 ahead of the Clippers.
Yeah.
Because the Clippers have just played, I think, 4 more games.
Well, they've lost 3 straight. Yeah.
Yeah. And they've lost 3 straight. But you look at the other part of the West, Phoenix.
Yeah.
Lost 3 straight games.
Without Booker for a month, they've been spiraling a little bit.
Yeah, the Lakers have just been, I know they've won 2 straight, but the Lakers aren't a very good basketball team.
And the hot team is the Warriors, but they were down below 500.
Yeah, but they've won 5 straight. To me, of the other 4 teams in the West, at this point, I still think the Warriors are more dangerous than the Suns. We've seen the Suns now have a couple different losing streaks where the Suns will be there in the end, but I think that team is they're not what they were.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of.
It was a weird offseason too.
It was. And I think a lot of that really has carried over from the Robert Sarver stuff. I don't think DeAndre Ayton wants to be there. It was very clear he wanted to go to Indiana when he signed that offer sheet.
Yeah.
Which you look back in hindsight, how good would they have been with Tyrese and DeAndre Ayton, man?
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, I don't think he wants to be there. Chris Paul's been injured. Devin Booker is just annoying as a human being and as an NBA basketball player. The Jay Crowder thing has just weirdly hung over them all year. It's just a weird team.
Yeah, I know. And the thought, too, on the Warriors, now that they won 5 in a row, when they were coming home after Christmas, they played home on Christmas, excuse me, but right before that, they lost to Brooklyn. That was the game they lost by 30, and they were 15-18, but they said they're coming home for 8 games in a row, and like, oh, maybe they can go 8-0. I'm like, 8-0? Come on, they're not playing at that level.
Well,
they've won 5 in a row, and what's next on the homestand? Detroit, Orlando, and then Phoenix. I mean, 8-0 or 7-1 seems like a decent possibility.
Yeah, I mean, you got to imagine they beat Detroit. Detroit to me is the worst team in the league.
Yeah,
right
they
now.
have been, yeah. And then Orlando's better, but still, I mean, their record's not great. And
it's not, but they're
Phoenix.
very capable of winning against them. And then Phoenix. I mean, I almost think Orlando's actually the tougher of the two matchups right now.
Could be. Well, we got more on the NBA coming up in the next hour, including what a great time it is for the league with, as we said, 87 40-point games this year, 13 50-point games, and it's coming off the 71 point performance by Donovan Mitchell yesterday. By the way, the Kings have already played Cleveland twice and beat them, swept them. They're done with that team. So that's a good thing for them going forward. All right, the NFL's final week is here, and the 49ers still have a chance at the top seed and home field advantage throughout. Matt Barrows joins us for his weekly visit to talk about the Niners next.
The only place you'll find De'Aaron Fox is Sactown Sports.
Spins away from the defender, in the paint, soft floater. That's a great play by De'Aaron Fox.
Hey, Sacramento, it's De'Aaron Fox, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
You hear the phrase a lot this time of year, happy holidays. But holidays are not always happy, particularly for guys grappling with a divorce that they didn't choose. These men need more than the help of a good lawyer. They need the hope and encouragement of a good friend.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Sacramento area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Online at CordellCordell.com, 500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino, and the primetime football giveaway, it's back. They're giving away a total of $500 for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento, with plenty of well-lit parking and some of the best food in a friendly environment. For more information on tournaments and gaming, please log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. As always, 1-800-GAMBLER.
ATM Mortgage. When times get tough, you need a lender that gets even tougher. Hi, Jeff Tarbell with ATM Mortgage. We can still show you an affordable path to home ownership, and all you have to do is call 916-338-9400. That's 338-9400, or online at atmmortgage.net. ATM Mortgage. License under California CFL and MLS 223-4889.
Today I'm at Elk Grove Dodge, where it looks like Vince Bloom, the big guy,
also known as Father Christmas.
Well, yeah, Vince, you are dressed like Santa, which means you must be giving out some sweet deals for the holidays.
There's nothing sweeter than saving money on trucks.
So I can expect some big savings on, say, new 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorns?
You read Santa's mind. Right now, during the Big Finish event at Elk Grove Dodge, save $12,000 off MSRP on new 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4s.
Vince, $12,000 off new 2022 Bighorn Crew Cabs?
That's right.
$12,000 is a lot of money, and you've got enough for all of Santa's helpers because, we've been very good this year.
I sure do. I've got 15 of these new Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4s, and they're all $12,000 off MSRP, starting at $42,520.
Now through January 3rd, save $12,000 on 15 new 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4s.
Only at Elk Grove Dodge and the Elk Grove Auto Mall, and online at elkgrovedodge.com.
Include $6,000 in 2022 Big Finish and California retail bonus and bonus cash. Sample VIN 455-158 expires 1/3/23.
American Energy wants to make sure you and your family are safe this winter with a $49 furnace tune-up. Plus, if you're ready for a new one, get half off with American Energy's 50% off furnace special. With 0% financing and payment plan options available, there's no reason to keep putting off making your home safe, warm, and comfy for you and your family this holiday. Call American American Energy today at 916-520-9990 or visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable. 50% off furnace when you purchase a whole home HVAC system. Limited time only. Cannot be combined with other offers or specials.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, get a free T-check and free exam. Book your appointment today at Revive Sacramento. We know we can help you. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Time to check out Coastside Medical Clinic, who's dedicated to providing breakthrough remedies for men.
KHTK AM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your local sports leader in the 916. This is Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines. With your Sactown Sports headlines, I'm Jay Mars. Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin had his heartbeat restored on the field after suffering cardiac arrest during the team's game Monday night against the Bengals. He is currently in critical condition at a Cincinnati hospital, the Bills said in a statement early this morning. The scary scene midway through the first quarter led to the game being postponed about 90 minutes after kickoff. In a conference call shortly after midnight, the NFL did not provide an update on potentially rescheduling the game as the league enters the final week of its regular season. The Kings head to Salt Lake City to take on the Jazz tonight. Those two teams met on Friday night at the Golden One Center, with the Kings prevailing 126-125. Shooting guards Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter are both questionable with injuries. Coverage begins at 4:30 with Game Night on Sactown Sports. Donovan Mitchell set a Cleveland Cavaliers record with 71 points, most by an NBA player in 17 years, and the Cavs rallied from 21 down to beat the Chicago Bulls 145-134 in overtime Monday night. It was the most points in the game by any player since Los Angeles Lakers legend Kobe Bryant had 81 against Toronto on January 22nd, 2006. Back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
Jay, hey, my headset's
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
Well, we enter the final hour of the first show of the new year. Again, Happy New Year to everyone out there. Jason Ross, Jay Mars in today. Carmichael Dave back with us tomorrow. Coming up this hour, Sean Salisbury will join us in about 15 minutes. We're going to get Matt Barrows from The Athletic here on in just moments. We got a big recap of last night in the NBA. Some huge scoring nights. Jay just mentioned Donovan Mitchell, but LeBron was in a groove. Clay had a night. There were plenty of guys that had big scoring nights last night in the NBA. We got three in the key to come as well. But let's get to it. All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. It's always a pleasure to check in with the Athletics' Matt Barrows. Matt, Happy New Year. How are you?
I'm doing well. Happy New Year to you, too.
Well, I appreciate that. A sneaky good game. That was actually fun on New Year's Eve there with the 49ers or on New Year's Day, I should say, with the 49ers and the Raiders. I thought it would be a little bit more comfortable, but hey, a win is a win. How do you explain maybe, Matt, I don't know if struggle's the right word, but we didn't have a dominant performance from that Raiders defense, which I thought we would against Jarrett Stidham and the Raiders.
Yeah, and I think the 49ers thought they would as well, and Nick Bosa said as much, as that they may have underestimated him. To me, they started out thinking that they were just going to kind of bring Stidham along slowly and, lean heavily on their running game. And I think the 49ers were very aggressive to stop that running game, and they were overly aggressive, so they fell for a lot of play fakes and things like that. And they really had trouble with Josh Jacobs. I mean, he would not go down on the first hit. He really abused their cornerbacks. Anytime he got to the edge and a cornerback tried to bring him down, they failed. So there was a lot of yards after the initial contact for him. And they just got rolling. I mean, anytime a team can get its running game going, and then you get the play-action game, and then you've got an aggressive quarterback who's got nothing to lose, and you have Darren Waller coming back and sort of being put into the game plan more heavily than he had been. It just started to snowball from there. To their credit, I think the 49ers started to really hit Stidham after halftime, and that had an effect, obviously, on a couple of interceptions, but they were not quite as in control then as they were early in the game.
Matt Barrows from The Athletic joining us. Matt, kind of just to follow up on that a little bit, do you then subscribe more to the idea that the 49ers just kind of got caught, unsuspecting of some things early in the game versus the Raiders kind of exposed some things on defense potentially?
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, this is a team that had an 8-game winning streak going in. It's got to end at some point. And in that way, I think it was a good game for the 49ers in that they got frightened that they were going to lose. They almost lost, but they didn't. So it sort of kind of shocks them back out of some of their habits that they had. Yeah, I mean, there are some flaws on this team. There's some flaws in the defense that the Raiders absolutely shown a spotlight on. And one of them is they've got a young cornerback opposite a veteran cornerback. So who are you going to pick on? If you're the opponent, you're going to pick on Diamador Lenore. He did not have his best game, either in the run game or in pass coverage. And then, there's some back-end issues. Like I said, Talanoa Hufanga, when he makes mistakes in that he's a little bit too aggressive going in one direction and gets manipulated, on that back end sometimes. And that's what happened on that initial Waller touchdown. Again, to his credit, they corrected at halftime, and so it wasn't as bad after the half. That leads me to think that they absolutely know what these issues are, and they're going to take care of them moving forward.
Matt, I don't know if these two things go together, but we know the Niners, when they were 3-4, no one thought they could be a 1 seed, but that's still in play if everything goes right for them this week and a win and some help with Philadelphia losing. But also there's a potential for some return of players coming back. I don't know if they go hand in hand because you'd love to give even more rest if possible if you knew you were going to have a bye week, but they don't know that. Is that related at all as far as the return of some of the players, what their postseason status could be?
No, I mean, I think if these guys are ready to go, they want to get them on the field just to kind of get them rolling. I mean, who knows how many days it takes for a player coming back from injury to kind of get back up to full speed. It's different for every player, but it does take time. And so I think that they want to get that process going for Elijah Mitchell and for Deebo Samuel. I think Kevin Givens, the defensive tackle, is probably a week later than those guys. But I expect to see Samuel and Mitchell in practice. And if they're good, it's not going to be their full allotment of snaps against the Cardinals, but they'll get some with the idea that, okay, we're going to ramp them up to full speed so that whenever that first playoff game does come around, they're going to be ready to roll. So, yeah, I think it's sort of a big priority this week to get some of those guys a decent amount of snaps so that process is well underway for when that first playoff game is.
And speaking of the playoffs, Matt, we were kind of going over some of the potential scenarios for that. And right now I just kind of want to look at if the Niners do remain in the 2 seed, you're looking at your potential opponents being Green Bay, Detroit, or Seattle. Does any of those teams kind of scare you more than another?
Yeah, the Green Bay does. They've got this quarterback. And I know that the 49ers have had a real mastery over him and the Packers in the playoffs. But anytime you're playing a guy like Aaron Rodgers, with that arm, that ability to make plays, and also history. I mean, he could, in one game, erase a lot of bad memories he's had against the 49ers. Those memories, by the way, started back in 2005 when they overlooked him for Alex Smith. So, motivated, really talented. They're starting to play a lot better. They just throttled the Vikings. If I'm the 49ers, I'd much rather play the Vikings in the opening round, which is impossible. But, I mean, some teams are getting hot at the end of the season. Some teams are cooling off. The Packers are getting hot. The Vikings are cooling off. So that's the team I would want to avoid. Every other team, every other first-round opponent, I think that the 49ers are, they're well matched against any team in the NFC. But, a team that has a really talented quarterback would be the one that I would probably want to avoid the most.
Speaking of quarterbacks, as we're talking with Matt Barrows from The Athletic, Brock Purdy came in right during the middle of this win streak. And to his credit, to the team's credit, they haven't really been tested until this last week against the Raiders. The team had won comfortably, Matt, multiple score games, and he's been a big part of that. And they're a Super Bowl caliber type team, so he's constantly going to be evaluated. What do you think Kyle Shanahan learned about him and the rest of the team in kind of what I would say is his first close game as the starting quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, it was playoff-like atmosphere, even though the Raiders were kind of on the verge of being eliminated from the playoffs in that game. And even though the crowd was divided among 49ers and Raiders fans, it was loud for both teams. I don't know if it was quite as loud as that 2019 game in New Orleans, which was a real, true warm-up for the game in Seattle that they would play later to get them into that number one seed. But the bottom line is that Brock Purdy played really well, was really composed, and made plays when he needed to in that sort of environment. I mean, I think that just tells the 49ers, what they've been seeing is not a mirage. And if it ever gets to a point where, Garoppolo is now ready to play, or he's on the verge of being ready to play, I think it tells the 49ers, okay, we don't need to rush him back. We don't need to rush him back before he's ready, because Brock Purdy can handle the situation. He can be poised. He can make the right throws. He can lead a 2-minute drive in a very stressful situation. So I think it was very valuable in a lot of ways. If you're the 49ers, you'd love to see your team blow out the opponent week in and week out. But boy, from sort of a curiosity standpoint, Purdy played really well in a difficult situation.
Matt, when you look at that, how well Brock Purdy played down the stretch, I think one of the guys that really stuck out to me in that game, along with him, was Brandon Ayuk, who has, really come into his own, almost sort of under the radar, just because some of the stars he plays with on offense. How crucial has he been to the overall function of that offense this year?
Huge, especially with no Deebo Samuel for this stretch, and Samuel missed a game early in the season as well. He's been the constant. I mean, this was his first game over 100 yards, but there have been so many games where he's around 80 yards, between 80 and 85. I mean, it's like clockwork. And I know he had the drop early on, and Kyle Shanahan was saying that there were some things that he was doing or not doing early in the game that bothered him. Kyle Shanahan scrutinizes no position like he does wide receiver, and he gives those guys, a very, very tough time. But obviously it's something that was not an issue after halftime. And you're right. I mean, Ayuk carried them on that final drive. Should have been the game-winning drive. There was a missed field goal, but it just came up clutch time after time. And really, that's the other part of the story, is that he's been trying to build a rapport with quarterbacks since the offseason. He spent all of offseason, the early offseason, with Trey Lance, trying to do that. And then when Lance got hurt, he did the same with Jimmy Garoppolo. And now he's trying to do that with Brock Purdy. And it's been difficult because Purdy hasn't been able to practice in full because of that oblique rib injury that he was dealing with. So it's hard to get on the same page as your wide receiver when you can't throw in practice. That was another kind of sign, positive sign at the end of that game, is that Purdy and Ayuk were starting to build that chemistry, and it was apparent in that last quarter.
Well, the Niners try to get their 10th in a row this weekend in their final game of the year. Matt, we always appreciate your insight. Happy New Year to you, and we look forward to talking to you next week.
All right, sounds good, guys. Talk to you then.
All right, thank you. That's Matt Barrows from The Athletic. Make sure you check out all his work there. Full breakdown. Again, Niners winners of 9 in a row. Arizona, the final matchup. They've lost 6 in a row. The Cardinals have just fallen completely apart. All right, we've got our football perspective, more football perspective from our resident QB. Sean Salisbury joins us next.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. And Safe Credit Union. Let us put you first.
Carmichael Dave here, letting you know when the housing market shifts quickly like it has the last few months, having the right mortgage company on your side is crucial in this ever-changing market. We've got just that lender. It's my guy Shelby at United Wholesale Lending. Now you can check them out at refinancewithshelby.com. They're fast, they're local, and competitive. Shelby's team, as I've told you for years, is well known in the real estate market from real estate agents, title companies, appraisal companies. United Wholesale Lending will even get your offer fully underwritten and approved upfront so you can compete with the cash offers. With the increase in inventory, the market has shifted from a seller's market to a buyer's market. Buyers now have the opportunity to shop for the home that's right for them instead of settling for what was available. You can always refi as soon as rates come down, or United Wholesale Lending has alternative loan options like a 2-1 buy down. RefinanceWithShelby.com. That's RefinanceWithShelby.com. NMLS number 279051. BRA number 01864354.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sactown Sports.
Happy New Year again to everyone. Carmichael Dave off today. He's back with us tomorrow, and all guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Let's bring in our resident QB, Sean Salisbury, joining us. Sean, Happy New Year to you.
Thanks. Happy New Year to you guys, too. I appreciate it.
Appreciate that. Love having your perspective on this. You can speak to it way better than we can. We're all fans of football. We watch thousands of games. Unfortunately, we've seen players get hurt, and we're all desensitized. I have to be honest. We see it. Oh, man, that guy shredded his knee. Next man up. Oh, that guy's going off in a cart. That's sad. That's scary, but the game goes on. What we saw last night, what I watched, and when I saw players and coaches reacted the way they did, it was different. It felt different. I want to get your perspective on what you saw and what emotions that brought to you.
Well, it's gut-wrenching. And, yes, and I've been the guy on the field who shredded my knee and been through that and been through players being carted off on a stretcher, but for different reasons, and all of them concern you. But when you see that, it's different. And the emotion, you spend more time with your family or with your friends, which is your family, your teammates, a lot of times than you do during the season. So the feeling of the emotion you saw it feels like a family member, and it is. And when you see a 24-year-old kid go through this, it's not like it's 90 and a family member where you say, man, we hope that they live. It's been a good life. You're like, how does this happen? When I saw it live and then saw one replay, I couldn't watch it. And I've never been. There's certain things I've never still been able to watch when it comes to regular knee injuries. Now, when you're talking about or somebody getting hit, and I'm not desensitized to it because I know being on the field when a guy's getting off on a stretcher, not for this type of reason. I've never been a part of it or watched anything like this. That family and emotions and friends when it comes to we're dealing with trying to get a guy, to get him to breathe again. And the medical staff, God bless them, his family. It was gut wrenching. I think what happens, and you mentioned desensitized, there was no doubt that football, and it still today, is obviously far unimportant. At some point, they'll play again, but unimportant. And last night, the game had to be postponed or canceled for last night. Is we watch these players, and I still marvel every day. I marvel when I played with them on the same field. I marvel now is that we see how, whether it's a great dunk, whether it's a 500-foot home run, a vicious hit that guys get up from, knee injuries guys overcome. We see them make such great plays that we feel like they're Superman or invincible, that we don't think that, oh, this can't happen to a 24, 25, 22, 28, 30-year-old athlete. But they go home and their kids have colds. They go through the same things that every single person does, just that their job's on TV, and we watch them do so many special things that when something like this happens, we're like, oh, we're just going to move the drill. No, we're dealing with somebody who had to be, basically revitalized on the field. So, and all the precautions, and you saw the emotion, that family that happened to, and there was no decision to be made. The decision was made about playing football, and prayers for him and his family, which everybody's going to say, but you can see how effective, the effect it had on them. And I can't fathom what a family or those teammates must have been going through seeing it in person, because it was devastating on TV. And I hope that he makes a full recovery and then he can go from there deciding on what's next for him. But the full recovery for him and his family is most important.
Sean Salisbury joining us this morning. Sean, kind of piggybacking off of what you said, I do want to preface, like, of everything going on, this is the least important. Obviously, we're talking about a human being whose life is still currently on the line to the best of our knowledge. But there's no way they play this game, right? There's just, it's not possible.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know when, and I don't know. Listen, I'm the scheduling, and when we talk about commissioners and people making decisions, NFL Players Association and that, last night, I mean, it was a no-brainer. And once that's not a knee injury where it's unfortunate those things happen. These things don't happen, and we're grateful they don't. But it did happen to a human being last night who just happened to be playing a sport. So they made the right choice. When to play it or if they're going to play it, I don't know. I don't know how. Like I said, I personally don't care if they play it from my perspective, but whether it's the NFL and the teams that are battling for, if whenever this comes into the situation, you find out he's okay. I was asking it this morning on my show, how do you know when your teammates and when at some point in time the Buffalo Bills are going to play football again, right, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Whether the playoffs. So I don't know when that is. I don't know if you just chalk this up and you know, like when games were canceled, do we just say this game's canceled and their records, you kind of apply them to however they were when it comes to where the home field advantage. I don't think any player's thinking about it, about when they should replay it. Right now they care about their teammate getting healthy, as we all do. But it's going to be a question in the next few days or whatever is asked about, are they going to play it? I don't know how they do, and I can't fathom the emotion, but at some point in time, whether it's now or January 15th or next year, the players are going to have to go back on the field and realize that, you know, precautions. I don't know how you prevent this. We don't know the background of health or what happened, and was it the hit that caused it? Was it? We don't know. That's why you leave it to the smart medical people and in God's hands to hopefully get him back to full health. So the question will be broached and it will be talked about, and I don't know if they will, and I don't know when they could or how they do it for the rest of the league. But I don't think that's their major concern right now. But it is going to be asked, and it is going to be, I would imagine, considered if they can. If not, I guess you just take into account they played 16 games instead of 17, which to me is far less important how many games they played and who gets home field advantage than worrying about this young man's life.
And the reality of this, and so much is talked about, and you used the word too, the brotherhood of this. I mean, yes, this impacted the Bengals, and yes, this impacted the Bills last night. But I got to believe, just as a fan of football, I know it impacted me. So now let's go to Tampa Bay's locker room, the Houston Texans, the Patriots, the Raiders. Sean, this had to shake everybody's core. And yes, those guys will play football again, but how are they not feeling different the first time they're on the practice field or next Sunday when they suit up?
Of course you are. And you and I mean, everybody is. If you don't, then where's the compassion and humanity in your life? Then maybe we got to check into your soul, you know? So yes, of course it's going to be talked about. I can remember guys, and we still think, I was a teammate, or not a teammate, a schoolmate of Hank Gathers. Hank Gathers and Bo Kimball were at USC when I was there. And then they transferred to Loyola Marymount. I'll never forget watching that with what happened to Hank on the court. And that was a friend that you'd see every day at school when he was at Southern Cal. And still to this day, it's hard to fathom. So, yeah, hopefully, you know, this young man's healthy and he's going to be, you know, returned to full health and all those things. But, yeah, it affects everybody because it's family and it's a big fraternity. And it is the group of people you play with, and you're thinking, okay, if it can happen to somebody in their 20s, you start to think about, okay, am I doing everything necessary? How do we prevent it moving forward? Is there something that you can do? I don't know, pre-testing to find out if a precondition. I don't know. These are answers that these great medical people are going to be asking, and how this happened and why this happened. But the most important thing is, how do we get him healthy and make sure if in the future for him and anybody else it doesn't, but it's real because it's a teammate or a guy you play against, and you saw the hugs for both teams. The competitiveness goes out the window when you're fighting for your life and a teammate and a family member's fighting for their life. It has great perspective. We should every single day, not just when it happens.
Yeah, that's well said, Sean. I know we get great perspective from you today. Next week when we talk, we'll hopefully be under different circumstances. Happy New Year to you. Thank you for sharing that, and we will talk to you next week.
Yes, Thank you guys very much, and blessings for him and his family. Thanks.
Absolutely well said there, Sean Salisbury. He knows. It is different than next guy's down. Hey, it's also there's a moment. The reality of this is someone gets hurt all the time in the NFL, and maybe we'll just use a knee, shredded knee. Okay, awful scenario. But there's also a backup that's going, hey, that's my chance.
Sure.
And then the game ends. It's like, oh man, we lost Jay Mars for the season. It's gonna be tough for us to recover. But next man up, and then we see you at camp and you're rehabbing. It's kind of isolated, but then next year he'll be back and be better than ever. This just was completely different.
Nobody saw that and was like, oh, this is my chance.
Yeah, no,
nobody.
It changed, and it was so fast. It went like, oh, guy's down. Oh, wait. And we've seen the cart, and then even the ambulance. Okay, it's serious. And then it was, again, when the words uttered by Joe Buck when he said CPR was administered, and I think even later at it, he goes, it's been done for 9 minutes. I went, oh my God, this is, life-changing, honestly.
And it's almost like, man, that took a second to sink in, right? Like CPR, NFL player during game.
Yeah.
Like, to Sean's point, this is something that doesn't happen.
It doesn't. And so everybody was shaken to the core, understandably. All right, thank you to Sean there. We will move on. Not easy to do, but we will. We've got an NBA game tonight. We've got to reflect on some amazing moments last night in the NBA. We'll do all that and more coming up.
The only place you'll find Kevin Herter is Sactown Sports.
Herter's open, steps into three. He's got the triple. Hey, Sacramento, it's Kevin Herter, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Hey now, Jason Ross here to tell you about ACR Solar and Home Services. They do so many different things. I wanted to add the home services because I've had many people come up to, oh, did you get solar on your house? No, we have not, and maybe that's a thing we are going to do in the future thanks to ACR Solar and Home Services. But the home services part, the new roof. Yes, we have a new roof, and we lost power the other day, and that was a little bit uncomfortable. We were out for about a day and a half. But the best part of all of that is we had the brand new roof, and while it was rainy and while it was windy, we were stress-free on that. We knew we were safe and secure, and we didn't have to worry about leaks or anything like that because we had been longtime homeowners, 20-plus years in our home, and our roof was old when we bought the house, and we extended it probably too far, and we knew that when we had some garage leaks last year, but no issue anymore at all because our home looks great with the brand new roof. We've got the better curb appeal, but we've got the peace of mind, and that's what's most important. And that's because the great folks at ACR Solar and Home Services took care of us for that, and they could do the same for you. And for us, one of the best parts about it is after we met with them, everything they told us that was going to happen happened. And I know you've worked with companies where, we're not going to show up today. We got a shortage of crew, or we're going to be a little bit later. Everything they said, the communication was thorough, and we knew what was happening today, the next day, and the day after that. And then the end result is we got a brand new, beautiful roof. So our thanks to ACR Solar and Home Services. You can check them out at acrsolar.com.
At Folsom Lake Honda, in addition to great prices on new Hondas, we stock the best selection of quality pre-owned vehicles, and each one of those vehicles is priced to sell now.
With new cars in high demand, Folsom Lake Honda has a great selection of quality one-owner trades with low miles, and each is priced to sell now. Every used vehicle on the lot comes with a Carfax vehicle history report and has passed a safety inspection. Shop our entire selection at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
We all know the pain of being stuck in the past. But with Roseville Electric, you can get current with clean, reliable electric solutions for your home or business. For more info, visit getcurrentroseville.com today.
Hey guys, if you have Peyronie's disease, West Coast Men's Health can help. Acoustic wave therapy can dissolve the knot that's causing the problem. No pill or cream will ever do that. And right now, we're offering a free treatment just for coming in. If you suffer from Peyronie's or ED, call West Coast Men's Health today.
With clinics in Sacramento and San Mateo, call 916-829-8273. That's 916-829-8273. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
When it comes to your sewer, what goes down must come out. Get a detailed video inspection absolutely free with any sewer drain cleaning, and keep life flowing in the right direction. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air, Bonnie.com.
Don't miss your final chances at $50,000 with Lasher's Elk Grove Dodge Big Guy Vince Bloom and Sactown Sports Pick'em Contest. Win a Twin Peaks gift card and a chance at $50,000 at the Hard Rock Casino Resort at season's end. Visit SactownSports.com for details.
I'm Dr. Stork. Why give your family just ordinary eggs when they can enjoy the best?
Eggland's Best, the only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition compared to ordinary eggs, with 6 times more vitamin D, 10 times more vitamin E, 25% less saturated fat, and 38% more lutein. Because the way we care is anything but ordinary. Only Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
Time to check out Coastside Medical Clinic, who's dedicated to providing breakthrough remedies for men.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
With your Sactown Sports headlines, I'm Jay Mars. Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin had his heartbeat restored on the field after suffering cardiac arrest during the team's game Monday night against the Bengals. And he's currently in critical condition at a Cincinnati hospital, the Bills said in a statement early this morning. The scary scene midway through the first quarter led to the game being postponed about 90 minutes after kickoff. In a conference call shortly after midnight, the NFL did not provide an update on potentially rescheduling the game as the league enters the final week of its regular season. The Kings head to Salt Lake City to take on the Jazz tonight. These two teams met on Friday night at the Golden One Center, with the Kings prevailing 126-125. Shooting guards Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter are both questionable with injuries. Coverage begins at 4:30 with Game Night on Sactown Sports. Donovan Mitchell set a Cleveland Cavaliers record with 71 points, most by an NBA player in 17 years, and the Cavs rallied from 21 down to beat the Chicago Bulls 145-134 in overtime Monday night. It was the most points in a game by any player since LA Lakers legend Kobe Bryant had 81 against Toronto on January 22nd, 2006. Those are your headlines. Back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
The only place in the morning to get your sports fix.
Live and local.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
And again, Jay Mars here with me this morning. Carmichael Dave is off. He's back with us tomorrow. We got Kings basketball tonight. I'll be back later here with the G-Man, the high flyer Henry Turner for Kings, and the Utah Jazz. Part 2, a thriller the other day. Just a great finish, great energy. Good win for the Kings. They try to get the 2-0 series advantage. And if you're, no, I don't think it's too early to start thinking about potential tiebreakers. You want every win you can get against the West. And so the Kings have had, I would say, a tough schedule. It's kind of been an odd schedule. I was looking at this the other day about they've played every team in the East at least once. They've already finished with Cleveland and Miami. Then the West, if you go from the top, they've played Denver twice, Memphis 3 times, haven't faced New Orleans, haven't faced Dallas. Let's see.
Both of those teams playing really well also.
Yeah, right now. Then you go only 1 with the Clippers, 1 with the Blazers, I think only 1 with the Suns, 3 with the Warriors already. Tonight's the second with the Jazz. Now the teams that aren't in the playoffs right now, none with Minnesota. Saturday will be the 3rd with the Lakers, none with the Thunder, none with the Rockets, and they've only played the Spurs once. So that bottom part that's all not in, obviously the most they've played is the Lakers, but they got a lot of games with those teams still.
Yeah, no, so it kind of evens itself out a little bit.
Yeah, so that's still to come. Last night we had, I brought up the stat earlier, doing the number crunching, 87 40-point games scored by individuals this year, 13 50-point games. And if we go to just yesterday, Jay, on the January 2nd schedule, let's see, 40-point scores yesterday. We'll work from the bottom here. You had, we'll go on the low end first. Joel Embiid had 42.
That's it.
LeBron had 43.
Normal.
DeMar DeRozan in the loss had 44.
Yeah, it was overtime.
In the same game, Donovan Mitchell had 71. And we also had Klay Thompson, which was great to see Klay. This is the second 40-plus game this year, but he went for 54 points.
But he needed 2 overtimes to do it.
The fact that that many people are doing this is crazy.
Right. And
crazy.
I mean, all of those guys, those are all 5 all-stars that did that last night. So as amazing as it is, there's also a level of like, yeah, I mean, those guys are all stars and all scorers in the league. But you had brought up some stats earlier that just were kind of dumbfounding of, for lack of a better term, role players.
Yeah.
going for 40 plus this year. That to me has been like the just wait, what?
Okay, so of that list, what's the most random? These are one-time 40-point guys this year. Karis LeVert, that's kind of random. Porzingis, I feel like he's capable, but hasn't been the true unicorn.
Right.
Tyler Hero, I mean, you do that off the bench. Julius Randle, capable. Tyrese Halliburton had never done that, so he's done it. Zion, believable. Siakam, and his was 50.
Yeah, no, Siakam that was a monster game.
Ja Morant, more than capable. Anthony Simons, a little surprising.
Signed that big deal. I mean, he struggled earlier in the year, but
RJ Barrett, that's kind of random.
Yeah, but
He's a good young player,
RJ's a scorer though.
Tyrese Maxey on that team with Harden, Harris, and Embiid.
Yeah, I think that more than anything, it's who he plays with that he was able to do that, not that he's incapable.
Yeah, and then Jeremy Grant. Those are the single.
Jeremy Grant might be the
one.
It's between probably Jeremy Grant, Karis LeVert, and RJ Barrett. Again, all guys capable of putting the ball in the basket.
Yeah.
Maybe Karis.
Okay.
Maybe. Again, another guy that's very capable of scoring.
Here's your higher volume, multiple 40-point guys. Let's see. Booker's done it 5 times.
Not shocking.
Giannis and Tatum 6.
Not shocking.
And then Luka and Embiid 7. 7 times 40 plus.
Yeah, and both of those guys will be well over 10 games before the season's over.
Yeah.
Hell, they might be well over 10 games before the month is over. Especially Luka.
And when you think about scoring too, like the other night, 3 games ago, the Kings had the first time in Sacramento Kings history, Jay, they had 3 30-point scores when it was Fox, Sabonis, and Monk. The very next game, they almost had it again when Herter got 30, and I think Sabonis was 28 and Fox was 26. They almost did it 2 in a row.
And well, crazy even, just add a little context to that stat. Sabonis did that going 12 for 12 from the field.
I mean, again, he has been, and I love when he was asked this the other day. It was maybe about a week ago. They said, "Have you played better basketball in your life?" And he said, "No."
No, I mean,
this is the best run he's been on.
And what's crazy about that, and this is why, when we look at the trade in the vacuum, right? You're really just looking at Tyrese and Domas, right?
Yeah.
Although Buddy's
been really good for them.
Buddy's been really good for them. I think he's kind of found, a good spot there in Indiana, and good for Buddy. But when you look at when you look at it in the vacuum of Domas versus Tyrese, right? And who won the trade, because that's how it will ultimately be defined as which team got the better of those two players. To me, it's a draw.
Yeah. And what's amazing about it is I thought it was closer to that when it happened, if not in favor of the Kings. I was blown away by the national media that said the Kings got fleeced. And
there's still national media saying the Kings got fleeced.
I know.
Was it Tim Bontemps?
I don't know
a week
if it was
or two ago.
I've seen a few more that say it's been a good trade for both now, but I don't know who said that.
It was like, but the Kings got hosed, or it was of a line. Like, how do you even say that? If you want to make an argument the Pacers won the trade, okay, that's fine. I have no issue with that. But the idea that the Kings got fleeced,
no,
come on.
Well,
that narrative is dead.
And the odd part about it is Tyrese has played even better than I thought he would. Like,
Same.
I knew they were
100%.
getting rid of a good player. He's been incredible.
Yes.
But Sabonis has been awesome. So it's
to the same point.
Yeah.
Sabonis is playing way better than I thought he could.
Yeah. So I mean,
they've both stepped
worked
up.
out.
They've both found scenarios that are perfect for what they do.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, Sabonis has been an all-star twice. Now, granted, he was not voted in initially, but good enough to be, you're still a great player if you are that guy coming in. Last year in Indiana, he kind of struggled, but a lot of that was basically Rick Carlisle runs a particular system there. That system did not fit Domantas Sabonis' skill set, whereas the Kings have basically taken their entire offense and put it around Domas' skill set, and it's worked out great for them.
He's thriving.
And Tyrese Halliburton in Rick Carlisle's offense is thriving as well. I think they're both going to be reserve all-stars this year.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. Good thing for both organizations. The Pacers
and both teams have improved because of the trade, because they both found better fits for what they want to do.
Well, one thing I thought would keep Tyrese from being an all-star this year would be their record, but that's not the case. They've outplayed. They've been much better. They're another 4 games above 500. So I thought he would have stats on a bad team, and you just have to be exceptional. Well, he's had good stats on what's proven to be a surprise team.
A surprise team that is very young.
Yes.
And, we made the point earlier, Buddy Hield been a big, been much better there in Indiana. but also Matherin, their first round pick this year, has been really good. Miles Turner's still a good basketball player.
Yeah.
This team has both teams have a lot of potential to grow, which is what you want.
Absolutely.
Again, I think when you look at that trade as a whole, it's a draw.
Yeah.
Don't forget, a piece they got, the Kings, Justin Holiday, was a major reason why they were able to pull in Kevin Huerter.
Yes.
Again, it's just one of the rare trades that I think worked out beautifully for both teams.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, you ready for a little 3 in the key? We got to get some 3 in the key. I will recap what our last 3 in the key was, which was Friday when Chris and Simone were here. We asked for, this would have been against the Jazz on New Year's Eve. Sabonis' stat line, which he ended up 28, 11, and 8. I said 17, 4, and 14, and 7. Chris had 18, 13, and 9. Simone had 23, 16, and 6. So I think Simone might have been the closest there. Assists to turnovers, I had 30 to 16. Chris 24 to 8, 26 to 9 for Simone. They were 32-15. So I almost got it right on. The one we all missed, last basket for the Kings. Simone said Monk. Chris said Fox. I thought the Kings would win easily. I'd meant to. He didn't even play. It was Kevin Huerter, actually, at the game winner.
Yeah, neither of you guys win. I think you lost, though.
I think I did. All right, Jay, here we go for ours. Tonight's first one for the 3 in the key. We're going to go Kings largest lead and Jazz largest lead in the same category. I'll go first on this one. Kings largest lead will be 11. Jazz largest lead, also 11.
This is going to be a tough one coming off of back-to-back. So if the Kings are in this, it's going to be, I think, a close game. I say the Kings' largest lead will be 4. Jazz largest lead will be 10.
Okay. Since he had 30 the last time they played, you lead us off here. Points for Kevin Huerter.
I think he'll cool off a little bit, but we'll still have a good game tonight. I'm going to go 21.
Okay. I have him for 14. And the last one, the leading bench scorer in the game. So this is either team, or there's some good bench scores for Utah, but and their point total. I'm going to go with Monk for 17.
You took mine.
You can still take Monk.
Nah, that's okay. Who else? I mean, who's coming off the bench tonight for Utah? Clarkson's a starter.
He started last game. Let me see. Their bench guys last game. Sexton, Walker
Sexton's
Kessler.
not playing, right?
No, he played. Well, he did against the Kings.
I thought he's not playing tonight, though.
Oh, I didn't see that. Walker Kessler, Rudy Gay, Malik Beasley. When they went big with Walker Kessler, actually was a big advantage.
Yeah, I'll go Malik Beasley with 18.
Okay.
Just to change it up, just so we're not the same.
Okay. We'll evaluate it tomorrow. See how we do. All right, we conclude this Tuesday show, first show of the new year, when we return, including news, notes, and celebrity birthdays next.
The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sactown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. Happy holidays to all of you, and my friends at American Energy have a present. They want to make sure you and your family are safe this winter with a $49 furnace tune-up to ensure your system is running safely and efficiently. Plus, if you're ready for a new one, get half off with American Energy's 50% off furnace special. When you purchase a whole home HVAC system, get your furnace half off. 0% financing, payment plan options available. There's no reason to keep putting off making your home safe, warm, and comfy for you and your family this holiday. American Energy has been serving Sacramento since 1981. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, and that is extremely important to me and should be important to you. Supporting local business because local business supports you. 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. AmericanEnergyAir.com, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Buying a new Acura is an easy decision, and Acura of Stockton makes buying easy. Come and see us today or shop online. If we don't have it, you can pre-select your favorite Acura and pick it up when it arrives. No contracts or deposits required. It's that easy. Plus, we'll pay top dollar for your trade whether you buy from us or not. Don't settle for less than the quality of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or online at AcuraofStockton.com.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, get a free T-check and free exam. Book your appointment today at Revive Sacramento. we know we can help you. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino. The primetime football giveaway, it's back. They're giving away a total of $500 for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento, with plenty of well-lit parking and some of the best food in a friendly environment. For more information on tournaments and gaming, please log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. As always, 1-800-GAMBLER.
Save now on appliances and more at the Truckload event at Lowe's. For a limited time, get up to an additional $600 off select major appliances and instant savings from top brands like Samsung, LG, and Whirlpool. And you can take home what you buy same day. Plus, get store-wide savings on even more items. Head to your local Lowe's store or visit Lowe's.com to shop the Truckload event today. Exclusions apply while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for details. Valid 12/29/14.
Did you know that over 90% of male enhancement pills are virtually the same thing that's repackaged, redone over and over again? Why settle for the same old product when you can get something completely different? Something that takes male enhancement into the 21st century. Something that really works. Men, you need to try Noxitril, the explosive, all-natural male enhancement formula that will unlock your performance in the bedroom to a level you could only dream of. Try to imagine Viagra on steroids. Noxitril is so powerful, that's why it took years for it to finally become available to the public without a prescription. So call now and take advantage of our special Noxitril free bottle offer today. Oh yeah, we recommend that you use the Noxitril dose as directed. Think of your partner. We certainly don't want you to overperform in the bedroom.
Call now and find out how to get a free bottle of Noxitril while supplies last. Call 800-993-2150, 800-993-2150. Free bottles for limited time. So call now, 800-993-2150, 800-993-2150.
What's hot and what's not. Brought to you by American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Head to AmericanEnergyAir.com to find out more.
What's hot?
Yeah, hot. Real hot. And what's not?
It's not good. Brought to you by American Energy Air and Solar, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company, and second opinion partner.
Who's hot?
Who's hot, Jay?
Donovan Mitchell.
Yes, he is.
Devin Booker.
Okay.
And the late, great Kobe Bean Bryant.
I know where you're going with this.
All three players have dropped a 70-point game in the last 25 years. All three were shooting guards. Here's the interesting one. All three were selected 13th overall in the NBA draft. I just thought that was a very fascinating little statistic.
Yeah. In the realm of time that the Kings have missed the playoffs for 16 years, and there's so many drafts where people go, oh, they could have drafted Clay, they could have drafted Kawhi, they could have drafted Giannis. They don't get mentioned. Mitchell doesn't get mentioned much. They had two cracks at him at 5 and 10. Now, they took Fox, and they're very happy with him, but they had a 10th pick that year, too.
They sure did, and they
moved it, but
they moved it for the 15th and 20th picks, which ended up being Justin Jackson, who's still weirdly in the league, and Harry Giles, who is not in the league.
No.
I don't think they did good with that.
I agree with
breaking out
the Fox part. Yes,
no, but what they did with that 10 pick,
right?
Which, correct me if I'm wrong, that is the pick they got from New Orleans in the DeMarcus Cousins trade.
Correct.
So, Vlade and the draft just never really. They just didn't like each other.
I just think for a while in the draft, the Kings, but Vlade, yes.
Vlade was bad. Really, really bad. Who's not?
Who's not?
Your favorite college football coach, Lincoln Riley.
Go ahead.
Tulane came back yesterday against USC to win the Cotton Bowl, 46-45.
Let's go into a long, detailed explanation of this game.
There were 4 minutes left, and what was the score at that point?
I want to say 45-30.
Something like that.
15-point lead. In the bag.
4 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they lost 46-45, so yay, Tulane.
Yeah.
Lincoln Riley has now lost 6 games when holding a lead of at least 14 points since becoming a head coach in 2017, the most in the FBS in that span.
I did not know that. Is he Josh McDaniels? What's going on here?
Well, Josh McDaniels, I get what you're saying. At least Lincoln Riley did it over like
a couple
6 or 7 seasons. Josh McDaniels done it over one that's not even complete yet.
Yeah. So it was a quick score by Tulane. Kick it off. SC got trapped by their own goal line. Safety So you're like, oh, they don't even need the 2-point conversion anymore. Then Tulane got the ball back, went down, scored with about 9 seconds left.
It was a good time.
Great win.
I was actually watching that game.
Great win for Tulane.
You're a big Tulane fan.
I was. Green Wave. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, let's have some news and notes.
Right now?
Yeah.
It's time for the news of the day.
The latest headlines, the biggest stories, hard-hitting analysis.
Yeah, this is none of those things. And now, here's Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross.
All right, today, Jay, is National Chocolate Covered Cherry Day.
Oh, never had one.
You've never had a chocolate covered cherry?
No, I mean, I've had like a sundae with some chocolate sauce on the cherry, but I've never had one like
I say that, but now I'm thinking
cherry dipped in chocolate. Nah,
like strawberries dipped.
Oh
in
yeah,
chocolate.
absolutely, multiple times.
Have I had that? I don't know, but I can picture the taste. It's also
I'm not a big cherry guy.
Cherries are fine.
Don't dislike them, but don't.
It's basically for a sundae and in a drink, I guess.
Yeah, like a cherry Coke. I like cherry soda.
Or I even meant like 2 cherries in your in a Coke.
Shirley Temple.
Sure, a Shirley Temple and a Roy Rogers, whatever it might be.
I've never had a Roy Rogers.
It's Coke with grenadine, right? I think it's the same thing. The other one is 7-Up or Sprite.
Shout out Roy Rogers.
Yeah, shout out.
Loved him in the NBA.
It's National Drinking Straw Day.
Oh, as opposed to what other kind of straw?
I know it's better for our environment. I don't like the paper straws.
Yeah, they suck.
Yeah, I don't like those.
Especially if you have like a hot beverage and you're using one.
Oh, not good.
The worst.
Not good. How about the, let me see how you do here. Top baby names of 2022.
Oh, God.
For the girls, top 5. And I'll give you a guess or two to see if you get any in the top 5.
Chloe.
That's a good guess. One more guess?
Let me throw one out there. Harper.
Good. Very good guesses. Not on the list, but I was impressed. Number 5, Sophia.
Okay.
Number 4, Ava.
Oh.
Number 3, Amelia. Number 2, Emma. Number 1, Olivia.
Okay, Olivia is super popular. I should have got that one.
And now you start thinking about Isaiah's class, right?
Ava. Ava has to be because of Abbott Elementary.
I hope so. Greatest character on TV right now. Top baby names for boys of 2022.
Mason.
Okay. I think Mason was high on the list, but not in the top 5.
Okay. Connor.
Good guess. Number 5, Mateo.
I know a young Mateo.
Number 4, Elijah.
Okay.
Number 3, Oliver. So we got Oliver and Olivia. Number 2, Noah. And number 1, Liam.
Okay, so Liam's been, I feel like, popular for a while now. Oliver, Isaiah has a classmate named Oliver, so that one. Yeah, okay.
For fact checking, Dave, Justin, Jason, not in the top 100.
Nobody's naming their kids Dave, Justin, or Jason anymore.
Jason was very popular when I was
popular when I was a kid. I was mistaken for Jason all the time. That's how I went by Jay, actually.
But is Dave like that's a very common name? Is that going the way of like from before, like, you know, Herman and Fred? No, I mean like
no, why was Herman the first name?
I don't know. I was trying to think.
How many Hermans did you grow up with?
None in my age, but I felt like it was an older name, like Eugene. Like those were older. Like are our names becoming ancient?
Jason, I feel like hasn't been used in a while. Okay. I haven't met very many young Justins in years.
But I remember when so young, there was a bunch of Jasons in my class. But what I don't know of an old Jason like when I was a kid.
As far as David goes, that's a biblical name.
Yeah.
So I don't know, as the world's become more secular, that it's kind of been phased out. But I still like Isaiah's middle name is David.
Okay. But you didn't go David Isaiah. You went Isaiah David.
Yes.
Yeah. Isaiah's a good name.
It is a good name. Yeah. Also biblical.
Yeah. Box office top 5 from this last year. Number 5, let's see if you have seen our resident movie expert, Jay Mars. Jurassic World Dominion.
Did not see it.
Okay. It was
trash.
It's okay.
It was trash then.
Yeah. Number 4, Avatar: The Way of Water.
Never even saw the first one.
I didn't either. I'm with you on that. Both of them I did not see. Number 3, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, I think it is.
I
did not see it.
Put it this way, I've never seen a Marvel movie I disliked. I'm just so far behind.
Well, there's 8,000.
There's 8,000. I've seen like 7.
Yeah.
So it's just too much to catch up on.
The ones I've seen have been good. I've not seen nearly, like when people are in it for the first night, I'm like, I know.
I'm not anti-Marvel by any stretch. I just haven't spent a whole lot of time with the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
But the time I have spent with it, I did enjoy.
Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, which I wanted to see. I saw the first one was fantastic. I didn't see Wakanda Forever.
I did not see Wakanda Forever, but I did love the first one.
Number 1 for the year, Top Gun Maverick, which a lot of people say like
seen it yet.
It's fun. It's a good movie.
I need to see Top Gun Maverick. That's probably the only one that I really need to see. I feel like, but I think the only movie I saw in theaters last year was Sonic 2. I took Isaiah. It was fun.
Yeah. Jim Carrey again? Okay.
Don't know if he'll be in the third one though, because he's talking about retiring.
Yeah, there's a third one coming.
Yeah, in 2024.
Okay. This year is going to be the year of the sequels. Celebrity birthdays. Happy birthday, Jay, on this January 3rd, 2023 to Eli Manning.
Gunther. Eli, I'm going to say, is an even 40.
Not a bad guess. He is 42 today.
Really?
Yeah, for Eli Manning. And these guys kind of fit together. Ironically, they have the birthday on the same day. Not Peyton, but David Tyree, who made the great helmet catch.
David Tyree, I'm just going to try to do something. He's 46.
43.
Damn it.
Just 1 year older. Happy birthday to probably once beloved actor, now just out there, Mel Gibson.
Yes, Mel Gibson.
Mel. Once a heartthrob, I think, for many.
Yep, 4 Lethal Weapon movies.
Sounds right. I know I've seen 2 to 3 of. I don't know if I saw the 4th one.
Favorite Mel Gibson movie? Forever Young?
Signs.
Signs is good. Signs is fun.
I don't know if that's my right answer. I feel like there's something else.
Not The Passion?
No.
Never saw it. I don't think I have a favorite Mel Gibson movie. I'm not a huge Mel Gibson guy. Mel is 69.
Nice. 67.
Really? He's
Mel
not quite
Gibson.
70 yet. All right, Mel.
Mel, that's another name. Like, why don't we have that? Would have been another one.
Well, what is Mel generally short for?
Melvin.
Okay, who's naming their kid Melvin?
That's what I mean. Did Justin, Jason, and David go to the way of Melvin,
Herman.
my Herman call, and
Ruth?
And
there's nobody under the age of 65 named Ruth, right?
I don't believe so, but they cycle back. They'll come back.
Think so? You think like in 10 years we're gonna have an influx of Ruths?
Yeah, baby Ruth.
What about Dorothy's?
Maybe not. All right, happy birthday today to don't call him Chris, Jim Everett.
Jim Everett, quarterbacking legend. Jim Everett has to be 59.
60.
Damn it.
60 for Jim Everett. Happy birthday to, I believe he only played in the NBA for the Timberwolves. I could be wrong. You know your NBA almost better than me on that, Jay. But Nikola Pekovic.
Peck.
Scary, intimidating big man.
Do you believe Peck was only a Timberwolf? That's the only I only remember him as a Timberwolf. Peck is 40.
37.
Dang.
Couple to close
Still
out.
play.
Happy birthday to announcer, wrestling legend Jim Ross.
Oh, go JR, baby!
I see him at all the family reunions.
Is that Uncle Jim?
And he likes to be called. He just says, "Come and sit on Big Jim's lap."
I love JR. A lot of my childhood memories watching WWF at the time. Jim Ross.
What did he celebrate today?
Jim Ross is 72.
71.
Dang it.
And happy birthday to Cheryl Miller.
Cheryl, as her brother Reggie calls her.
Oh.
Cheryl. Cheryl is 60 even.
59. You are on your game right there. That's it for us today. Thanks again to Jay Mars. I'm Jason Ross. I appreciate everything today with Sean Salisbury and Matt Barrows. We're back tomorrow. Kings basketball tonight. See ya.
The only place in the morning to get your sports fix.
Live and local.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.